What's up, y'all? Welcome to the WAN Show. It's been a great week.
No.
It's been a great week.
Nope.
And it's going to be a great WAN Show. Okay.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about like world events. I realize what that probably sounded like now. We're not even going down that road.
Wow, it took us exactly 3 seconds.
I didn't intend to.
3 seconds.
No!
To alienate some half of America.
That wasn't even what I was talking about.
And we don't even know which one it is. Way to go, Luke!
I was talking about completely not American things, okay? Nothing to do with America.
We've got a lot of great topics for you guys today. I forget what the headline one was, so Luke might get it for a change. AMD is rocketing upward. They have... Wow. Okay, we'll get into the details later, but that is absolutely incredible. EA has ditched support for Linux in Apex Legends, citing the fact that Linux gamers are far more likely to cheat. Them some fighting words.
Yoicks.
What else we got this week?
A modder has made DIY upgradable Mac storage.
Okay, this is so cool. This is legitimately cool.
Crazy prices we were talking about might not be so bad.
Actually, there's a little more to that as well.
Oh.
We'll get to it.
Intriguing. The last one I will bring up is that MsPaint might be like a cool, neat thing to do on your computer again.
Really?
Maybe. They're
Sounds
bringing
good.
AI features to MsPaint and Notepad.
The show is brought to you today by Thingiverse. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Seasonic, Notion.
Oh.
And of course, our chair partner, Secret Lab, our laptop partner, LG, and our wrap partner, D-Brand. Okay, small aside. Have you seen my car yet?
Not in person. I've seen pictures, though. My goodness.
Okay, anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
You'll have to tell me when you get pulled over.
EA is dropping Linux support for Apex Legends, despite the fact that the game was in the top 50 in terms of popularity on the Steam Deck over the past year. According to EA developers, it is much harder to catch Linux-based cheaters, and the quote is, "The openness of the Linux operating systems make it an attractive... the openness of the Linux operating systems, make it an attractive one for cheaters and cheat developers." They claim that the impact of Linux cheaters was having an outsized impact on other players' experience, and thus EA has decided it is not worth supporting the platform.
I suspect, if I'm reading between the lines accurately, I suspect this might also mean that the player base playing on Linux is probably not super high either.
But it's very interesting to me that they specifically call out the outsized impact that small player base is having. Because the player base can't be that small if you're a top 50 game. I mean, it might not register for a company like EA and one of their Halo titles like Apex Legends, which, okay, is not a Halo title. That would be Halo, but you get what I mean. Do it.
Oh, he wasn't even paying enough attention.
What?
He wasn't paying enough attention.
Oh, forget it.
Get on the ball, Dan!
I was responding to a horrific merch message.
Oh.
Well, cool. I guess we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, we've got a few discussion questions here, and I'm legitimately interested to hear not just Luke's perspective, but I'd like to hear your guys' perspectives as well. Like, if there's anyone who works in game development, particularly in anti-cheat development, feel free to drop that into the Floatplane chat. I'm going to kind of keep an eye out for it. But, the first question is, wouldn't more cheat makers be attracted to Windows? Seeing as the paid cheat industry is kind of an enormous industry these days, and Windows is obviously going to be the platform of choice for most gamers. That's where your biggest player base is.
What if it's a premium thing, though? Like you have a less likeliness of getting caught if you use this one. We are the premium specialized tool for the discerning cheater.
I very much suspect that it is, but do you really think that it is more worth it?
Arch during the day, cheating at Apex Legends at night?
Do you really think that it's more worth it to kind of jump through whatever hoops you might have to jump through to become a Linux gamer? Figure out installing Linux for yourself, which, to be clear, I'm not talking about you guys right now. You guys know how to, use Rufus and make a USB drive and install an operating system on your computer
install Steam
or whatever.
On it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, surely that wouldn't cause the system to immediately brick. Did you ever see that video?
Yeah.
I did nothing wrong.
Except where it tells you that it's going to brick.
No, different video.
Oh.
There's a short circuit where I unbox a Linux laptop. I install Steam on it. I did nothing. I just installed Steam on it. And then it just wouldn't boot up again.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
I have a talent. Anyway,
use Steam and Linux in the same room.
Yeah, the point is, I'm not talking about you guys. You can do that. I'm talking about your average slack-jawed gamer, man. I was at PAX one year, and I was at the Nvidia booth, and they were showing off. This was when they were showing off Game Stream, right? So their Wi-Fi game streaming to the. Had they launched the Shield console yet? I don't even think so. I think it was on the little Shield Portable, that little handheld Android box. And there's this guy in a beanbag chair, and I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, how's the latency on it? And he's like, I kid you not. Huh? I don't know. That seems like a cool game.
No.
And I'm just like, dude, you're in the Nvidia booth, you're trying Game Stream. It's not even running on that machine. That's the whole point. So I guess my point is so your average cheater.
Someone in full blink chat said his latency was too high.
It was a little high. It was a little high. Okay, we were in the Pacific Northwest. All right, he probably. Okay, we got a lot of.
He was enjoying.
We got
himself.
a lot of oceans. Okay, a lot of reefs. Okay, a lot of reefs. He's a reefer.
This isn't fair. You can't be this on it when you're sick. It's not. This isn't okay. You gotta. My goodness.
Anyway, so if I was to try to kind of profile the person who needs to cheat at games, see, when I was a kid, the people who cheated at games were kids, right? Because they weren't good, or they didn't have time to use the computer. I feel like that's kind of flipped around, where adults are doing things on their phones, and the kids just kind of seem to have free reign at their computers and stuff. The adults needed to use the computer. You were fighting over and
right.
In particular the internet connection.
Yeah.
Right? The phone line needed to stay open unless you're
I have an important call tonight.
Exactly. You couldn't just be on the internet all the time. So you could cheat, and then you could download a Diablo trainer, and then you could kind of have your godly plate of the whale.
I'm so sick now.
Yeah, go and fight Diablo or whatever, right? So the profile that I might have in my mind for a cheater as just an average gamer / a kid who's not good enough or whatever, that's probably just completely wrong, right? Because you got people who are obviously savvy enough to play a game like Tarkov, but obviously feel the need to cheat at it. So you've got these. I guess I've talked myself completely out of my argument now, because the amount of work that people seem to be willing to put into not doing the work. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
When you and I were growing up, when we were youngins, cheaters it was generally associated with having some amount of knowledge of software development. Even if you got the cheat from someone else, it seemed like there was some amount of arcane knowledge involved.
It was a pain in the butt to figure out, and the resources to research it, and the amount of trouble you'd get in from your parents for going on sites that could get the computer a virus.
And now it's advertised on YouTube and Twitter and stuff. It's a totally different realm. So I think hey, this isn't too bad, a lot of people actually do this all the time, is the current vibe. And when that's the case, you might be more willing to actually try the stuff that would be hard. You know what I mean? Installing Linux, running them that way, etc.
Okay. Decimus Roman says...
Nothing.
Decimus Roman says, I suspect that part of this is that Linux doesn't allow video game companies to play the same games they do on Windows with memory inspection. But even then, the game was a mess on Linux, and they weren't really making progress in fixing it. Do you think that Linux cheaters are just a scapegoat?
I've I wondered about that a little bit. Because I do know, the install base for Linux for most games tends to be really low. I know it's not super common for developers to want to take Linux out of their supported operating systems. Mac is the worst, but Linux is pretty bad for that as well. I've heard that this is much less of a problem now that Steam Deck is a thing, because a higher percentage of your player base does want to be in Linux. But I don't know.
So, okay, hold on. Gauntlet Wizard says it does allow memory inspection. In fact, more.
Is it just not supported by their anti-cheat?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. And again, that would come back down to just scapegoating, not wanting to put in the resources.
Whoa. Is that scapegoating? Not wanting to put in the resources?
No, I mean, I just mean saying, because it would still be scapegoating to say it's because of people cheating on the platform.
Well, it is.
So if the reason is actually just that they could deal with it, but they would just have to put in the work to figure out, better memory inspection. And
is that scapegoating though?
Is memory inspection really the biggest impediment though, or would it be more to do with? I was going to say more to do with not being allowed to just run at kernel level willy-nilly, but even then they probably could.
Tons of different. I learned this from playing Tarkov. There's tons of different types of cheats, because you could cheat, and this would help you in Apex Legends a lot. Actually, is knowing where everyone on the map is.
Right. Yeah.
You can do that without changing what's in the memory. You do that just by reading the memory.
I see. And there's nothing you can do to prevent something from just reading. I don't see how you'd do that.
I don't know enough about it. I think it shows up in Device Manager though, doesn't it? On Windows. I don't.
Gauntlet Wizard says nobody would let them have root to access it because Linux gamers aren't stupid. But it's like, okay, but hold on a second.
If the game just requires it.
You
either don't play or you do it. Yeah.
Like, what is your, I guess that's my question, is what is your proposal for anti-cheat then? If we don't access this stuff, if we don't lock it down, and I'm not saying this is the way to allow companies to install rootkits or kernel level anti-cheat or whatever else. I'm not saying that's the way. I'm just saying, okay, if that isn't the way, what's the other way? Like, give me another way. Windows kernel expert can protect. Okay, yeah. So this is more just like people are mainly saying, look, this pretty much seems to come down to resource management. Yeah.
I don't know. Not a cheat developer. I can't say.
Hardware level encryption of processes memory. I mean, we're talking about like a complete architectural shift then, at least for, like the open, standards desktop PC. I mean, you could do that for a console or whatever else. You're not going to do that on Windows, at least not for the time being. Apparently auto hotkey gives you aimbot on Apex. I've seen a couple people talk about that. This is wild, dude. I saw someone in the chat, in Floatplane chat, was saying, I have a friend who's good at, what is it? I don't remember what it is. Battlefield, COD, something, I don't know, some game. And basically, he uses cheats because he'll get put into lobbies that are too sweaty, and he just wants to go around and kill people. And it's like, look, I can't tell you.
So play with bots.
I can't tell you who to be friends with and who to not be friends with. But your friend's an asshole. So
yeah,
like that it's mathematical.
I genuinely get suspicious of what other. If they're okay with that, what other things are they okay with? And that's a bit of a slippery slope, because then you're expecting every person to be perfect. But it's like it's concerning.
And it
would raise a red flag.
Nope, there's an easy counter argument. The easy counter argument is it's a game. Does it even really matter that much? And then there's an easy counter argument to that. If someone is willing to lie or cheat or step on someone else when the stakes are so low, when it doesn't even matter, when it hardly impacts them at all. If it was on the line, if it was a big deal, would they stand up for what's right? Heck no, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, they were willing to compromise their principles for literally zero personal gain. Nothing. I don't know. Just food for thought. Just food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, Funny Hat says, if you wouldn't trust a man with $1, would you trust him with $1 million? People, there's someone I stopped playing badminton with because I was sitting behind their court at a tournament, and it was like 22-20, so it was like into deuce, where you have to win by 2 points, third set, and the other team hit a clear over their head, and it obviously landed out. No, it obviously landed in, and they called it out. And the way that it works in recreational tournaments is that the line call is the team that is on that side. You call your own line calls because you're closer. You're the only one who can realistically tell. There's no line judges because we don't have 6 people to line up down all edges of the court and like check everything, because it's just rec, right?
Yeah.
And what you're supposed to do is, if you're not sure, you replay the point. Okay, it's, if there's a dispute, you're supposed to replay the point. So the other person was like, that was obviously in. And this person who I had been playing with on a fairly regular basis was like, and like got all aggressive about it and declared themselves the winner of the game, and the other people being, non-confrontational and just being like, dude, it's a game. Like, what are we even doing here? They backed down because they were like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, that's, I will never play with that person again. I will never set foot on a court with that person, because you're a dishonest person. You have shown your character more clearly than any words you could ever say.
Yeah. Especially in such a, not that it makes it better in a competitive game, but it feels almost worse that it was like a casual recreational match.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and you know what? No, I think that's a fair point, because in a professional league, part of the gamesmanship, like literally, I had this like NHL card game when I was a kid. And
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
So what would happen is, like, it was like a deck game, and you would, any card game's a deck game, whatever, just calm down. The point, no, it wasn't a deck building game, it was a card game. So you would draw your cards, and so you could play shot, and the other person would have to have a save. Okay? Or they could play a hook, and then I could play the ref to call the hook.
Oh, okay.
And then you could play behind the ref's back, and then the hook wouldn't get called, and then my shot wouldn't go in. So there were like multiple ways to defend against a goal.
Okay.
And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think at a professional level, there is a certain amount of gamesmanship that is pushing the boundaries,
but then that's
and avoiding
also
detection.
Why you would have a ref or a line judge at that level of competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, yes, at a professional level, no, I think I don't really respect it.
No.
I don't like dirty players.
Yeah.
But I also do acknowledge that is the expectation, and that if everyone's doing it, now it's part of the game.
Yeah.
And we can
doesn't mean it's good. The dives in soccer are disgusting and ridiculous.
Extremely detrimental to the credibility of the sport. As an outsider who actually enjoys watching football. There. I'll even use the proper name for the sport out of respect.
Women's football, soccer, whatever, is fun and cool to watch. They don't dive.
Yep. So as someone who thinks the game is super cool, and
at least I don't see a lot of it.
And I'm used to hockey, You know, so I'm not going to be. I'm not one of those Americans who's like, I watch basketball. If there's no scoring for like 18 seconds, I'm bored. Like,
what's happening? Why isn't anybody
scoring? The net's so big. Like, I don't even mind it. I come from hockey. I'll watch a 0-0 game all the time. No problem. I mean, I prefer scoring. I mean, I think we all do. But I like the tension. You know, I like the tension. But it really takes me out of it, dude. It takes me out of it in a big way. When it just feels like, instead of watching a sports competition, I'm watching a freaking like high school level acting competition.
Yeah, it's pathetic. I was trying to get into it at one point in time.
Yeah, if I wanted to watch that, I would just
immediately turn it off the second someone
I'd watch YouTuber apology video duels. That'd actually be kind of a funny concept for a video.
How well would ours do?
I don't know. Didn't PewDiePie review it?
Did he?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so.
I have no idea. I wonder what he said.
I don't remember. I probably looked at it at some point.
LTT apology.
Mick Leggins says, "Well, you're still around. Hey, all right. Then I guess I'd probably do pretty okay." What now?
How big is this creator?
Oh no! What is this? What is this? What is this?
2.4 million views.
Yeah. Is this seriously the last video they uploaded too? Like, what is this?
So left it off on a banger, dude. 2.4 million views. I didn't mean to click on the video.
Timu LMG clips or?
Oh man.
What? What is this?
What are you looking at?
Now that's content, baby. How did they get my brain in videos?
I didn't expect that.
Relatable.
What the heck? Oh, man.
Dan, hit me with that before I forget. Is that my key? Thanks. Oh, okay.
Oh, man. I forgot what I was even trying to find.
Yeah, entire chat's just like, You know what? Let it out. Let it out.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
It's healthy.
I'll be in the Tuesday.
I'll be in the
just
Tuesday.
Screaming. Oh, my goodness.
All right. So here's my last sort of question, coming back to the whole, is it just because Linux gamers are cheaters? I guess if it's just like a scapegoat thing, Linux people are cheaters, or if it's just and the real reason is we don't feel like doing the work, then why are so many other anti-cheat games not bothering? Is it also just because they don't feel like putting in the work?
Stuff. I wouldn't be too surprised. I'd be interested to hear from actual anti-cheat developers because honestly, I don't know. But I'm thinking about, how much work it is to even try to keep up with the cheating community as anti-cheat developers.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of like, I'm making assumptions here, not an anti-cheat developer.
Yep.
You have to sort of be reactive.
Yeah. Oh, I would think so.
That sucks.
I mean, you're going to try to get out ahead of it,
Sure.
but like...
I'm sure you have some developers that are pushing to try to get ahead, some developers that are pushing to try to be reactive.
But we've talked about this before, where certain departments are revenue-generating departments, and other departments are considered, more like boat anchor departments. And if I'm a game developer, I'm looking at my anti-cheat not as a revenue generation department, but as like as a burden, as something that I need to.
Well, usually anti-cheat is a separate company.
Sorry, but you're still gonna. Sorry. You're still gonna have internal people that are responsible for the implementation. You're still gonna have internal people that are working to make sure that the game actually functions with the third party. And so this is something that, by and large, and there's still going to be a limit to how much you're going to want to pay your third-party anti-cheat. Yeah. So in terms of the investment you're making in anti-cheat, it's not
EA going to pay 50% more to have Linux compatible
to counter how much cheat developers can charge for their services, right? So what we're looking at is a situation where the investment in cheating software is a revenue generating department, an exciting department, whereas the investment in anti-cheat is like a burdensome, we have to do this so we can sell more.
Hopefully the players
Peter
don't
Griffin
scream
skins.
too much. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you're always gonna, I just feel like you're always gonna be on the back foot that way. And there's a really unpleasant comment in the Floatplane chat. Someone said, because they're lazy. And that is just so unfair to developers. I have had the pleasure of meeting some game developers, and I haven't met a single one that I would characterize as just lazy.
Yeah.
In fact, they've felt to me, and this is based on limited interactions, none of them are my best friends or anything.
Did you meet the developers?
Sorry? Yeah.
Like this is a person who their job is do development?
Yeah.
Well, they're not picking their tasks.
Well, I know. That's where I'm getting to, Luke.
Got it.
He ruined the thing.
Well,
I'm working on a whole setup here.
I do specialize at that.
Yeah, I mean, but what I'm trying to say is, like, they've seemed, in every case, passionate. And a lot of the time, if they're not getting resources, if they're not getting time, they're not getting tasked, thank you, Luke, on these things that will improve the game for their community. Well, it comes down to the bean counters. That comes from somewhere.
To defend potentially the bean counters.
Sometimes there are business realities that there's nothing that they can do about. If we spend all this time and all this money on this thing that like 4 people care about, it will cost us an opportunity over here, or it will come to the detriment of these other things.
Can I no longer hire a person to help this other overworked person we have on the team? Can we not give good raises this year? Do we have to lay people off because we're out of money? These are questions that bean counters are trying to answer.
That Monolith tour,
and it's rough out there right now.
That Monolith tour was so cool. Like the number of the game. I wouldn't say necessarily all of them were devs, but devs and artists. The number of the people that worked on the game that were like so multi-hatted, and like they literally did their own combat mocap, just like people who worked in the studio who were like, yeah, I like train karate on my own time. I'm going in the mocap room to like fight with people, and like, dude,
which is so sick.
That is so cool.
That was a really cool thing that we did.
Speaking of things being rough out there, dude, did you see Warner Brothers said they lost $100 million? Lost $100 million. I'm working on it. They lost, here we go. MultiVerses and Quidditch Champions together contributed.
Aquil and Floatplane Chat said it's rough when you do bad decisions. I don't disagree. I will also say, and I'm not saying that you don't, I think sometimes a lot of the feedback that you hear from that is people that don't make that level of decision. It's also really easy to look at those level of decisions in hindsight and be like, yeah, that was obviously stupid.
I've done stuff that was obviously stupid in hindsight.
So am I don't know.
Can you think of anything?
Yeah. We can move on. Yeah,
I think I broke him.
We're good.
I think I broke him. I think there's so many things running through his brain right now. It's actually reached a runaway state, and he can't bring it back under control.
We're okay. What were we even talking about?
We were talking about the hard R incident.
Oh my!
Which was not that word. Okay, it was not that word.
Yeah.
That's not a word that I believe exists in my vocabulary in my life.
To Aquil or whatever, trust me, I get it. And there's a lot of scenarios where I feel like even if we're not thinking in a hindsight sense, I'm looking at some of the things some of these companies are doing. I'm like, oh my, that's so incredibly dumb. And I mean, it happens. I'm not defending all of it. I'm just saying sometimes, like, I don't know, it's not automatically that this person was just like being a malicious jerk. Sometimes they're just trying to deal with the cards they have, and they don't have a great option, and they do the one they think is best, and none of them were good, and that one sucks, and people are mad. And it's
what was that channel that you were talking about that like takes apart the bags and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that because you just like the taste of leather so much, or what? I just couldn't help noticing that out of the two of us, for some reason, you're the corporate bootlicker. No, I'm giving him a hard time.
My goodness.
I'm giving him, all Luke's trying to say is that everyone's human.
And I mean that at a variety of levels too, right?
Yeah, sure.
We could be talking about a small indie game with 2 people
Absolutely.
or 1 person.
Yeah.
And I mean that all the way up. I suspect the more the company size grows, the more it is malicious and bad and dumb decisions.
I think the more it is
But
detached too.
Exactly. You have people that don't care about the thing that they're making. They just want more money.
And you have people who don't know who the people working on it are.
Absolutely. They don't see them. They don't interact with them every day. Like these are absolutely things. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
Anyway, WB Games lost $100 million on MultiVerses and Quidditch Champions. Can I just say for a moment that I would be happy, Warner Brothers, I would be happy to work as a consultant for you, okay? And if you'd like, for the small fee of $99 million, okay, I would be happy to tell you that whether you should make a game or not.
Yeah.
And Quidditch Champions, let me.
That was a pretty obvious no. Speaking of bad decisions that we don't need hindsight to have known whether or not. I don't know anything about this game. Not even sort of surprised it didn't do well. Why would you buy a Quidditch game?
Quidditch literally is a sport.
One of the worst thought of sports.
That was invented by someone who hates sports.
I didn't know that. I'm not surprised.
Thinks they're stupid and went out of their way to make a
just terribly designed game.
What's the word? It's not parody. It's satire. It's or maybe it is parody. I don't know. It's whatever the word I'm looking for it is. It is intent caricature. That's pretty good. Thanks, Ninja Dude. It's a caricature of sport. It emphasizes the weird tribalism to the point where people are cheering when people get seriously injured or almost killed. It has intentionally arbitrary rules to sort of to highlight how utterly arbitrary the rules can feel sometimes, especially if you don't really understand sports and you don't care to learn about them. Like it is intentionally stupid and intentionally makes no sense. And this is something that isn't even just like a retcon. Oh yeah, I totally intended for that plot hole. Or I intended for those characters to have an unspoken relationship, or whatever. This isn't just some like random inserted in an interview 5 years after the fact. This was like well established right early on. Yeah, Quidditch is fucking stupid, and that's totally on purpose.
Yeah.
And also, like, it was one of those games, I remember reading about it, because there was pretty much no way for them to win on this, because to make the game true to the sport, right? Like in the novels and in the movies.
You can't.
You have to, it would have to suck.
Yes.
And so you would anger a lot of the hardcore fans of, the Harry Potter universe, right? And then to make a balanced game that would actually play like a decent game at all. Well, yeah, basically
you have to completely change it.
Right. So if you make a balanced game, you'll screw up with the hardcores. And if you make the game the way that it was in the novels and the way it was in the movies,
then
it'll be completely unplayable to any gamer who's like knows what a rule set is and how Raiden 428 says they should have just done Calvin Ball at that point.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I would play the shit out of Calvin Ball.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Why not?
Because Bill Watterson would never license it. That's why.
That makes sense.
William, if I may.
You know what? No. I disagree.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. William. Okay. How about this as a deal? Okay? You license Calvin Hobbes. Wait. You license Calvin and Hobbes. Stop it. But the not-for-profit organization that runs it, okay, has like all the safeguards, okay? It has like capped executive pay for the people who for the people who manage the IP, okay? It contributes literally 100% of its yearly proceeds to the foundation or the cause of your choice in perpetuity, and it contributes in some way, just nothing but good to the world with all the profits that it makes. Give me a Hobbs toy.
I think based Bill Watterson understands that given the erosion of time and entropy, all things are able to become corrupted and wasted.
Well, then he knows that
And
as
the
soon as he
based
dies,
answer
it's
is to
going to
just
happen
say
anyway.
no. Hold on as long as you can.
Or
Don't live to see your thing that you made ruined.
or instead of writing,
Don't allow The Hobbit to be made in movie form.
instead of writing that weird picture book or whatever,
Yeah.
spend your time like setting it up for coolness before you go, man, because the world needs
Yeah,
more
like,
Calvin and
he
Hobbes.
just did it. That'd be cool.
Well, he doesn't want to. He's like retired.
No. Unretire.
Well, I would like that too.
Don't make
but
the
like
crappy
better this
picture
time.
book.
Yeah, better this
Yeah.
time, please.
Don't make that thing. What up, dude?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
I guess.
Hello.
State your request.
Over here.
What?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Is this live right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this, Dan?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, bye.
All right. Dan, do you have merch messages for me? So he
sure.
can go run away?
BRB, one sec.
Okay, bye.
What topic are we even on?
I don't remember. I don't.
EA ditching Linux. I don't know how we got
I don't know what's
where
happening.
we're at. Ooh, this makes this kind of suck.
Why?
It is what it is, though.
Sorry, I'm really not.
We'll do what we can anyways.
Yeah, sure.
You guys should go away. There we go.
Yeah, leave, please. Thank you. I love you. Okay, let's see. What do I got?
Okay.
I am so out of it today. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay,
It's okay.
what do we have? I know that there was something.
Dude, so I
there.
have to. So the WAN show's been ending slightly early for quite a while because I've had to do bird meds every day, 12 hours apart. Because it's 12 hours apart, and you have to go to work. It's basically determined that the latest it could be in the morning is like 8:30. So we do bird meds at 8:30 in the morning. That means 12 hours later, we have to do bird meds at 8:30 at night. My girlfriend's going to be away this weekend, so I've had to try to learn how to do bird meds alone. We've had this strategy where I catch them, she gives them the medicine. We're good. We make the room really dark. They have really bad dark vision. Humans have generally better dark vision. I can see them. I can catch them, no problem. And I hold them with two hands so that I have a very nice hold on them where there's no pressure at all. They're mostly just like standing on one of my fingers while I'm just not allowing them to leave. And I nicely hold their head in place and everything's all good and safe and they're generally okay with it. I now have to catch them entirely holding them in one hand and then medicine feed them with my other hand, which is the traditional way to do it. It's a hard thing to learn. I'm figuring that out right now. That's been a trip. Ask for help. Like from who? Who's going to be able to help me at 8:30 in the morning in my house?
What if the other bird helped?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Linus back already. We didn't even get to do a merch
That'll be
message.
a maneuver.
Yep.
That was so fast. What did you do?
Sound like my wife again.
You,
What did you do? It was just a selfie.
you good?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
Just making sure.
Canada hasn't been invaded yet. It's great. Life is good. Oh, what are we talking about?
I don't think we actually got to immerse messages. I was buying time.
We do actually have to explain merch messages and do a couple. So this is probably
Are we due to do that? Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I guess
merch
so.
messages. The best way to interact with the show, it's merch messages or just, I don't know, rolling up and interrupting, apparently, because that's what Jake does. What a guy. What a flipping guy. So we don't do Twitch bits. We don't do super chats. We do merch messages because the way that we see it, if you're going to throw money at your screen, hey, your screen should throw something right back in your face. That's right. What?
What did you just throw?
I don't know. It was heavy, though, wasn't
It
it?
exploded.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. So the point is that all you got to do to send a merch message, which will go to producer Dan over here. I wasn't aiming at you, Dan.
No, it's exploded all over the floor. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
did.
fine. It's good.
It did,
Bye.
actually.
You sound like my wife now.
Whoa!
Don't take a blacklight home.
The point is that all you got to do is go on LTTStore.com, throw something in your cart. You'll see a little box for merch messages. You can leave a merch message. It'll go to producer Dan. He'll forward it to someone, answer it himself. He'll pop it up on the bottom of the screen, or he will curate it for me and Luke to respond to live on the show.
You don't have to do that anymore.
Do what?
You got an operation and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Now it's just for fun.
All right, maybe we can wrap up this segment and
Yeah.
get into some merch messages.
Well, that's what I should have done.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be a problem.
I know.
You can't be this on it when you're sick. You're setting an unfair bar. I'm never gonna be able to do the WAN Show when I'm sick. It's ridiculous.
So anyway, it's in the cart. You check out your merch message. Something. We'll reply to it. Curated merch messages. Dan, do you want to show a couple of them how it works?
Sure. Linus, do you still hold your meme stock, or did you end up selling it all?
Yvonne took it from me at some point because we needed to shift some cash around at some point. I think we lost money.
It was
I can't
way after
remember.
the fact. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember you. I think one of you told me, and I was like, "Oh, you like still had that?"
The investment account is empty now, not because we lost everything. Did it come out flat? I actually legitimately don't remember anymore, but Yvonne needed to move everything that was out of that sort of play money investment account that she let me have, and she needed to do something responsible. Oh, I think to buy the Smash Champs
Some
building.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it was
sense.
probably the down payment for Smash Champs.
It's okay. So what? Okay, so I hear you when you say the investment account is empty, and I understand how that functionally works. But when you have things like the NAS company and framework, like is that because those are different forms of?
So when I say the investment account is
like
empty,
market. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I own literally $0
In
of
the
stocks
market.
in the market.
Yeah.
However, I think I have an investment in a REIT. I forget what it stands for. Real estate something T something. It's some kind of like term deposit thing, and they like invest in real estate on your behalf or something like that. So I have a small amount in a REIT. I have the approximately $250,000 in framework, like 220 or 225 or something like that. It's a similar amount in. I don't know if they've announced their names, right? The name, Hashtag. Well, now it's announced.
I think so. I think there's even a website
in the NAS. Yeah, in the NAS software company, and that I have real estate holdings, and then I own stocks in Linus Media Group Inc.
This thing.
Yeah, Hex OS. Hashtag. Yeah, it's down at the bottom of the page. Yeah. So that is it. It's one of those things where I think that there would definitely have been opportunities for me to do extremely well in tech stocks, but it has seemed A, inconvenient, and B, extremely unethical to
morally questionable
to participate. Sure. I wanted to buy Nvidia back when it was like $17 when I worked at NCIX. That would have been a pretty good move.
Yeah. It is what it is.
But yeah, you know how it is.
I think holding framework like ultra mega long term is a little bit different than like
diamond hands
tech stocks.
Diamond hands.
Yeah, those are very
framework.
Different
the framework was a
I wonder
statement.
what the technical value of that investment is now.
I don't know.
I was going to say
Nirav offered to tell me last time I saw him when I was at Computex, and I was like, dude, I actually don't want to know.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, and the reality of it is, even if it doubled, even if it quadrupled, it's not going to impact our business in any meaningful way. Like we're not
The salaries.
we're not cash strapped.
Yeah.
It's not like we like have trouble making payroll. You know, and I feel like now is a good time to just like shout out the team, like massive shout out to the merch team, business team, content team. Did we talk about this last week? We had an all hands.
We talked about it in the all hands.
Yeah, we had an all hands earlier this week, and
was that this week?
Was it this week?
Was a long week, dude.
Was it this week?
Yeah.
Holy
That's
crap!
nuts.
Oh my!
That's crazy.
No. I'm glad. Oh no, that's not okay.
That's actually wild.
We all should not feel like that. I'm upset. That's actually upsetting.
What a week!
That's crazy.
Okay,
It's weird that the beginning of COVID feels like it was like a couple of years ago.
I know.
But this week feels like it was a month long.
Yeah.
I could have guessed at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we had an all hands
Why am I
this
so
week,
tired?
and I was the one of the quarterly speakers. It was mine and Yvonne's turn from the exec team to speak, in addition to sort of Taryn giving opening and closing remarks.
Great
and,
PowerPoint.
Thank you very much. I drew our building on fire. And my point was, there's a lot of headwinds coming for us. And so what? We should just give up. So it was kind of a little talk about resilience for the team, and in both directions. You know, talking about the resilience we're going to need to have going forward, and also celebrating the resilience that we have shown over the last few years, which has involved a hyper growth phase and a shrink phase, and then a more gradual reclawing our way back to where we were phase. And I took a little bit of time to shout out some of the teams that have been essential for that kind of, I don't know what to call it, other than just like a getting back on track, right? Like LTT, I think I had said was within like 15%, 10%, within 10% of where views were, like sort of last June. The overall company, like the entire portfolio, I think was within like 15 or 20% viewership wise. Floatplane, massive shout out to the Floatplane team, to the social teams. So Sammy, if you floaters are watching all those exclusives, Sammy's been
killing it, man.
Crushing.
I've really been enjoying
it.
The Floatplane content.
And you know, I mean, like Sammy doesn't operate in a vacuum. You know, you got to give credit to the behind the scenes folks, right? Like obviously there's the editors, you know, the community management, like Chewy. There's the guys that are working on strategy from the business team that are helping with all this stuff. Yeah, huge shout out business team. But basically, like every team has kind of been resilient. Was what I had wanted to talk about, and I forget where I started on all of this. Does anyone remember what the question was? I don't think I remember anymore. Dan?
Do you still hold meme stocks?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I don't remember how I got here, but anyway, the team is amazing, and thank you all. Oh right, Floatplane is back almost up to 40,000 40,000 members, which is
pretty nuts.
Kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it.
Because that we spiked up that high because of the YouTube hack. And then we thought it was going to decline after the YouTube hack because it was such a crazy spike. And we thought that people were, at least some of the people coming in had no long-term intentions even before they saw the platform. We were hoping that some of them were going to see it and be like, oh, this is actually pretty cool, I'm going to stay. And that did seem to happen to a surprisingly large percentage of them, but some people were just going to naturally fade out. But to be back up to near YouTube hack levels is like, whoa. Pretty nuts.
Do you remember why I was talking about the all hands? Because I don't. I got distracted by the fact that I thought that was like a month ago.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway.
You were talking about how the company doesn't need the money.
Oh yeah, framework.
Yeah.
Okay, so the framework thing. Yeah, how did that figure into that? I don't know.
Because we were talking about investments. You were talking about how you could try to sell. We were talking about do you know the valuation of your investment?
Oh yeah, no, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea, and it doesn't matter. Oh right, and it doesn't matter because I was talking to the team about how like we're kind of back, baby.
Yeah, it's feeling good.
We had 2 separate threads. 2.
Yes, I saw this
with a bunch of upvotes. I think it was last week on the subreddit that were like, "Yo, have you been just like really enjoying the content lately?" And people were like, "Yeah." It's been, and you know what? It's been really heartening for the team. Like today, I read out what I thought was just a really cool comment on one of Plouf's recent videos. What was it?
Oh yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
You do?
I think I know the comment you're talking about. Yeah.
You do? How could you possibly know this? Did you read through Chewy's
oh no, you
social report?
You sent me a comment.
Oh no, it's a different one.
Oh.
So this was on almost nobody else has the world's best TV. And they go, "This channel is running on all cylinders again. The creativity of the skits, the edgy jokes, the efficient means of delivering useful information, the creation of a culture for tech. LTT is putting out some great stuff lately. Linus seems like he's in a flow state. It's good to see, honestly. I hope you continue to create a reputation for quality, transparency, and fun. You guys are killing it." That doesn't happen with Linus in a flow state, right? Like that happens when you've got resilience. That happens when you've got people working hard, caring a lot, and just kind of bearing down and getting it done. And when I say bearing down and getting it done, that doesn't mean that you have to like be in a frantic, like, you know, horrible state all the time. It means focusing on what we need to be doing
and not allowing yourself to get distracted by
negativity or by things that don't matter, you know, by little details. Unimportant details.
One
little
thing I would
details
say
matter.
as well is when commenters make comments like Linus feels like he's in a flow state or input pretty much anyone else's public facing name, it's really what I think they're generally saying, not always obviously, but what they're generally saying is like the personification of this person, which is a bunch of people in the company in a trench coat, is doing well, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like this person and the supporting teams around them are doing well.
And to be clear, not everything is perfect.
No,
right? Like,
of course not. Never will be.
We're not perfect. Not everything is going according to plan. And we still make mistakes sometimes.
Yep.
Like I think we called a Ryzen 7 a Ryzen 5 or something. Like they're
Core Ultra 5285K, which is not its name.
Yep. And I also misspoke at the beginning of the video where I was like, AMD doesn't really make Ryzen 5s and Ryzen 3s anymore. We were literally reviewing a Ryzen 5. My point was AMD doesn't really make low-end chips in their current generation anymore. They just like don't bother. When the earlier Ryzen generations, AMD brought their latest tech. They brought their A game to budget consumers, and now they just don't do it. And I misspoke. I said Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 3, when what I meant was Ryzen 3 and a very limited lineup of Ryzen 5s, because they've just kind of hollowed out their low end, and I'm sorry. It doesn't change my point, and yeah, I should make sure that we're actually, you know, saying the right words at the right times in the right order. But yeah, I think we're doing a lot right overall, and I think that there's definitely going to be some tweaks for us to continue to make. I think that having the leadership team in to kind of help focus on the business things that need to be done so that I can do what I do best, which is focus on the content, has overall been a very good thing, even though it's been a learning curve. It's been a learning curve. I had, honestly, whatever, I might as well just say it. I had a, you know, somewhat short conversation with another member of the leadership team this morning, you know?
This morning.
Yep. We kind of chatted through, you know, what my expectations were in about a certain thing, and like what their expectations were. and how we both probably didn't meet each other's expectations in a way that was conducive to putting forward the best work that we both could together. And it was constructive.
That's good.
But that's the thing, is nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, and I speaking of the nobody's perfect thing, like I said, we're always going to make mistakes as a company. There's always going to be, I don't know. We're going to do our best. It needs to be better than it is right now, but there's always going to be some line here that, Core Ultra 5. There's always going to be that in every once in a while. Like nobody's perfect, right? But community wanted that from us for a while. So I've been in this honestly toxic habit of checking the LTT subreddit once every couple days in this like, what thing is being, why are we being called demonic entities this time? And it's been a nice shift in the last few months where it's just actually like LOL some meme or like, hey, this video is pretty cool. And it's like, oh, we're not evil.
Well, I think by and large, they figured out...
That's great.
They figured out that we're like mostly trying.
It's just, it was... yeah. It's a lot nicer. And I'm, I'm not expecting people to not give constructive or critical feedback when there is constructive or critical feedback to give, etc.
They should.
It's just, it was popular and welcomed and praised to crap on us for like a year.
Oh, it still is in some places, depending where you go.
To be fair, yeah.
It's like, it's kind of comical at this point because it's like,
there are certain.
Do you have any idea what other kinds of entities there are in the world that you could direct this energy at? Like, are you even trying to find something to be legitimately angry about at this point? Or are you just like?
Have you ever thought about food?
Some random... Yeah, oh, man. Yeah.
Have you ever looked at what goes in your food? Oh, wow.
Have you ever looked into
now.
palm oil? Like...
Do you know what canola oil stands for?
No.
I looked this up recently. Where is it? Where's its actual name?
What now?
It's like Canada oil or something like that.
No way.
Yeah.
I think you made that up.
Where did canola oil get its name from?
It stands for Canada Oil Low Acid. No way.
Yeah.
A name created by a Canadian industry group of rapeseed oil producers. The canola plant is a type of rapeseed that is low in 2 compounds that when removed makes its oil healthier and taste better.
Probably because saying the name of the seed just sucks. So
Why would they
come up with something?
That makes
rebrand
sense.
it?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would
Made out
love
of
to-
orphan killing plant.
Yeah, I would want to rename that personally.
Maybe we should go
would
back to the
definitely
marketing
wanna rename
table.
that. That would get renamed super fast.
Very quickly.
I would.
This oil, it's gonna oil you in the mouth. Don't worry about it.
Whoa. Let's rename that.
Yeah, let's rename that.
But we oil into some announcements.
Man, yeah. Is that what we're supposed to be doing? Did we do 2 merch messages?
We did 1 merch message for 45 minutes, and now we're going to do the announcements and then probably move on to another topic.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wait. Okay. Announcements.
I can see the Reddit threads now. We're already back to being evil again.
Yeah, it's a new R word. So what? Why don't you grab a hoodie?
Okay.
Because I think it's time to relax and get cozy.
Oh, I'm actually this is great.
We went all in on making your new favorite hoodie, the aptly named Super Soft Hoodie. It's made of a buttery smooth fabric that our fashion team absolutely fell in love with, along with a brushed fleece inside that feels luxuriously soft. It also features a custom big chunk draw cord with an LTT logo engraved in the end that adds a nice little accent. Hold on, I'm going to go to the Luke cam. You want to show them the big chunk?
No, too comfy.
Oh my God. Okay, he's really going to be like that about it.
What big chunk? I wasn't even paying attention.
The big chunk draw cord.
Oh, these are sweet. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
There you go.
there's the big.
So they're like actually huge.
Yeah, like the metal at the end is she's chunk.
Do we have an example of like a normal sweater?
I don't know.
Because these are actually like I have big hands, big fingers. That's my finger next to it.
Yeah, they're chunky.
It's
They're
big.
chunky. You'll have to take my word for it. And of course, we have a nice soft Kanga pocket to stick your hands into, and something that we go out of our way to add on our hoodies, a more secure pocket for your phone or earbuds. You want to show them our classic phone pocket? There it is. Basically, we wanted to make a hoodie that you didn't even have to think twice about throwing on. We even chose a color that works with just about any outfit. Like if you throw the Tech Bro vest on top of this guy, you're looking snazzy and warm. Oh, okay, he's going to do that. It's available now at lmg.gg/super soft.
Which this is apparently a thing. I had to get educated.
This is a thing, huh?
I didn't know that people wore vests over sweaters.
Okay. Yeah, it's called a sweater vest. What are you, an idiot? No, it's not. It's not called that. Sweater vest is a thing. It's a vest that's a sweater. So yeah, Tech Bro, he's going to be boiling in like 4 seconds.
I'm going to overheat.
He'll wear it for as long as he can.
And die.
Yeah, we're in the studio. We're under the lights. It's not a good time for a warm boy like Luke to be wearing something like that. How quickly do you think Emma will steal this?
Oh, I were you there, Dan?
Will it even make it inside the door?
The second I even felt it, I told Artie was here, and I was like, I'm going to have this for the WAN Show, and then it won't be mine anymore. Like, yeah, immediately when I get home, it's gone, which kind of sucks because it's actually really nice.
Yeah, got him.
But
anyway, all right. So here's the photo shoot for it. Super cute. Love it.
It's like the name is quite accurate.
There you go.
It's genuinely very.
There's
very
the
soft.
chunky draw cord. Yeah, we're really proud of this one. We're really happy with how this one turned out. Are there any other announcements, Dan? Oh,
Yeah,
no
they didn't
way.
include a pic of the inside on the website. Can you give us a close up?
Oh,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
It's-
Luke Cam.
It's gonna be a little.
I don't know how close we're going to be able to get to it. But it's a brushed style.
Yeah.
So not like the French terry like we've done on a lot of our other hoodies.
Yeah.
There's one more announcement. Elijah Week plus 5 for 5. What does that mean? This week is a big week on Floatplane. It's not only Eli Week, but we are releasing 5 Floatplane exclusives next week. That is 5 videos in 1 week for your $5 monthly subscription.
Oh.
It says, react to this. Oh, no. Dan,
What?
Oh, do I gotta pull something up?
do we have audio?
Can't be worse than what we were calling canola oil.
Yeah, if you want to just play it, I can check.
That's the word for it. Luke, I
Oil?
don't make the rules.
America will hear us if you keep saying that word.
America oil eagle sounds.
Yeah. That's what they sound like. Isn't that a red-tailed hawk? It's like not even an eagle.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Okay.
What are we watching?
So I'm playing the thing.
I have no audio.
Okay.
I have audio.
Okay, we ready?
You gotta.
All right, Linus laptop. Here we go. Announcing Elijah Week and more. Hold on, I'm going to get there.
It's finally my week here at Floatplane. It's about damn time I get some recognition for all the hard work I put in here. You can do this. This is your week. This is your week. Everyone has to do what I say this week. I basically run this company.
Yeah, so what was that meeting for? He just walked in and I shook his hand. What's the score? What did I just approve?
You know, it's time for some big changes.
Elijah, what are you doing with my desk?
Just go check out these teasers. I would have never gotten into IT if it wasn't for watching LTT. I did not get hired because of this script. That's going to be the best part about this. So then I got hired in logistics.
If Elijah wins, he gets a lunch given by me and paid for by the company. If Linus wins, he saves $25 because no one gets lunch.
And immediately found a spelling mistake in like the first sentence. And I'm like,
When did TechLink officially launch?
probably launched between like 2005 and 2024.
Questions about the content.
Yeah, I did, and he still got it wrong.
You're asking me also about the content 12 years ago.
It's our popular videos, you know? That means
Yeah,
you've
but
probably
nobody
seen it.
watches the pop.
fair.
No, sorry.
Go
No,
ahead.
Let me finish this.
Go ahead. Yeah, nobody watches the popular videos.
Oh man.
So, Go ahead and subscribe on Floatplane if you guys want to check out Elijah Week. All right, Dan, hit us with another merch message, right?
No, we should probably get straight into sponsors, or we won't have enough time for all these lovely topics.
All right, fine. The show is brought to you by Thingiverse. Do you need a little help squeezing that big tool into tight spots? Really? Our sponsor, Thingiverse, has you covered.
He does not.
You can 3D print an adapter. Really? Really, Dan? You can 3D print an adapter for our LTT water bottle to make it fit in that tiny cup holder. And not just the cup holder. They have the world's largest online library of 3D printing models to help you find anything from a water bottle handle to this LTT fan grill. No way.
Oh,
that is so cool.
That's sweet.
Or you can create your own designs and share them with the global Thingiverse community for feedback. We even used their site earlier this year in that video where we 3D printed some hardline water cooling. Plus, you can win prizes in their regular contests by showcasing your design skills. Thanks to its easy-to-use design, Thingiverse has helped millions dive into 3D printing and become experts along the way. Thingiverse is always growing and getting better, so look for new features that will make 3D printing easier than ever. Check out Thingiverse at the link in the video description. The show is also brought to you by Seasonic. Our thumbnail might have been fried this week, but your computer shouldn't be. Okay. Which is why you should use a power supply from our sponsor, Seasonic. If you've watched Linus Tech Tips, you've probably seen Seasonic's power supplies in many of our builds over the years. Oh, we left the sticker on in that B-roll shot. That's because Seasonic offers top-notch reliability, efficiency, and long-lasting performance to keep your computer running smoothly. If you're building something that requires a lot of power, you can check out the latest Prime ATX 3.1 series. It's designed to power the newest PC components that require ATX 3.1 and PCIe 5.1 standards. And at up to 2200 watts, there's enough power to support up to 4 4090s. Its fully modular design means less cable clutter and better ventilation, and if you ever have issues, just reach out. Seasonic offers up to a 12-year warranty. So check out Seasonic's Prime PX ATX 3.1 and all their other great power supplies at the link in the video description. Finally, the show is brought to you by Notion. Are you tired of juggling a bunch of different apps at work?
Yes.
Avoid those risky circus acts and be the ringmaster of your domain with our sponsor, Notion. Is that you, Luke?
Yeah.
What am I doing at the top?
You're bouncing on my head.
Okay. Well, I just mean the face I'm making. What is up with that?
Oh, you're having a very good time bouncing on my head.
It's a powerful tool that combines your notes, docs, and projects into one space. You can even view all your files directly on the platform and keep everything synced up with storage services like Dropbox or Google Drive. And to make it easier to find your files, their AI connectors feature, designed to enhance searching capabilities, is now in beta. Speaking of AI, their new Notion AI is a single AI tool that does it all. Search across Notion and other apps, generate docs in your own style, analyze PDFs and images, and chat with you about anything. It's powered by ChatGPT-4 and Claude, and to protect your privacy, their AI partners are contractually prohibited from using your data to train their models. It's super easy to use, and Notion helps you save time by letting you focus on what really matters. Try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/WAN. That's all lowercase letters, notion.com/WAN to try the powerful and easy to use Notion. All right, Dan. Topics?
Yeah, I think we'll do some more topics.
MsPaint is the future!
Is it cool again?
I don't know, maybe. Dan's about to tell us. Oh, Dan, do you need a minute? Dan needs no minutes!
Needs maybe 1 minute.
He has all the minutes he needs. He's powerful like that. No minutes. Our Dan is the best Dan. No offense to the other Dans.
Yeah.
He's the real Dan. That's why he stood up just now.
We even have other Dans.
To help us get the thing. Actually, okay, that's actually really not fair. We have some other really great Dans.
We have the best Dans.
We have all the greatest Dans. Our Dans.
My friends call me and they're like, wow, you have such great Dans.
Your Dans. Yeah. We've got...
the jokes are back!
We've got Dan Besser, Dan Siegel, Dennis.
Imposter Dan.
Dake.
Okay, so what am I doing here? Am I screen sharing?
So this, as far as my understanding goes, has the generative AI paint stuff, and it has the AI Notepad tools.
All right, so
And that laptop is now Luke's laptop, so you can send it over to the main screen when you're ready.
Oh, I understand.
Nope. That's mine.
Ah,
Neat. New AI experiences for Paint and Notepad. Okay, so Paint version 11.2410.28.0. Yeah, you couldn't have just...
Fantastic.
Yeah, sure. Generative Fill. A powerful new creation tool designed to help make your artistic process more fun and intuitive. Okay, now that is bliss.
And this is actually our demo, right? Like we did this. This
No.
isn't a.
No, this is on Microsoft's website.
Oh, this is what.
No, I'm just learning. I'm learning about it first.
Don't learn.
If you don't like what was generated, just press try again. Wow. It will be available on Snapdragon-powered Copilot Plus PCs, blah, blah, sign in your Microsoft account, etc. Ooh, generative erase. Okay, make it look like the object was never there. Very cool, very cool. So let's see. Buppity gone. Let's go. Update to co-creator, update to blah, blah. Okay, Notepad, I don't know if I care as much about. Let's play around with Paint, shall we? Luke, do you want to be the...
This was.
What?
Oh.
Okay, so what should we put in it? What should we put in it? I want to play with it.
Get it to generate your car.
Generate my car. How the devil am I going to get it to do that?
Generate the world's most flashy, self-important Porsche that it can.
Really, Luke? Okay, well, we'll have to start with image creator then.
Okay.
Rather than the actual generative fill features. Whoops, let's click the wrong one again. Okay, so image creator. Man, I haven't really used Paint much, lately.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, will this feature get people to actually use Paint again? Because I feel like Paint's kind of a bit of a dead meme. So is Notepad, to be honest. But
Okay, so I want a Porsche Taycan with a D-brand wrap.
Nice.
I mean, that's
send
what I
it.
drive, right?
Perfect.
So let's see what it comes up with. I don't think it's going to come up with anything. This is like a licensed, thing potentially. Wow, it needs a second here. Give it a second. We're generating. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
okay. Well, here, let's
Because we didn't say like, yeah, we didn't say the color.
let's say it's purple. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. That's a very strong start. We didn't say it was purple.
Yeah.
We also didn't say what skin. It looks like a car with a weird custom.
It's got kind of similar headlights. It's missing the like cheetah tier thing a little bit.
It gives you Porsche vibes though.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah, that one does too. I mean, okay, sure. Okay, purple.
Textured
Damascus
maybe?
steel.
Cool. We're getting close. Yeah, we're getting more specific.
D-brand wrap. Okay, man, that's not bad. Okay, so let's get our base image here, and then we can do some generative fill. Maybe we could put a person in the thing, or like
Make your wheels your face?
Whoa! Whoa! Okay, which one do we like the best?
I feel like that first one's like getting kind of close.
I feel like this one's cooler.
I do feel like that one's cooler.
Dude, that's super cool.
I just think that one's more lore accurate,
Okay, all right.
That one's got some wacky glitches going on.
Look at this situation here.
Yeah, and I think the wheel is like in the headlight kind of.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna go with this guy?
Sure, or the cool one. I think this one's more accurate. That one's pretty sick. They're both cool.
Let's go with this one.
Sure.
Okay. So
we're gonna put you in it, or should you be like crouching in front of it?
Well, I don't know, Luke. I don't know. Describe what you'd like to create. Okay, so style. Wait, no, this is generated art preview, image creator, co-creator. Okay, well, wait. How do I do any of this? I guess I could have. Dan, do you know?
No, I assume that what you would do is you would do a lasso Like you've got the selection tool there. If you do the drop down and then go like freeform.
Yeah, there we go.
And then like highlight something.
So I'm gonna ask to put a person like there, I guess.
Sure.
And then generator fill. If you hit the button, just underneath the lasso, there you go. So you could erase or generative fill. Wow, that's nice and intuitive. I just guessed.
Yeah, do it.
Describe what you like to add. Like person's head driving this car. Okay.
Sure.
Create. Yeah. She's cooking.
Doing something.
She's cooking.
I feel like
boy.
it's too slow to engage the children.
Maybe not. Maybe not. No, because part of the... That could be part of the fun. Now...
They look like they're like not in the driver's seat.
Well... technically, I didn't say they need to be in the driver's seat.
They're not really in any seat. They're
I just said they need to
in
be driving
middle
the
of
car.
Yeah.
Me before coffee.
They could be...
They're like sitting on the armrest, kind of.
I need that as a profile picture. That's going to be my new team's profile picture.
Oh, that's so good.
His hand, too. Did they not figure out the hand thing?
I didn't say that he needed to be looking at the road.
He's looking at a lot of roads.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Hold on. Let's give it another try. Okay. Hold on. Where's my lasso here? Okay. So let's give her the old. Okay. So we're gonna generate. Oh, right. Generative. Okay, here we go. Okay. A couple.
Put a
Okay.
dinosaur made out of bread driving this
A typical Porsche driver in the driver's seat, and his sugar baby in the passenger seat. Come on.
This is local, FYI. That's why it's slow.
I'm embracing the stereotypes, okay?
I'm super down. What?
Uh-oh.
What am I looking at?
What was
here?
the prompt? Wasn't it supposed to be two people? Oh.
Who is this guy?
It's mostly just a smear, I think.
Who is this guy?
I think he's got like pouty lip and like a giant mustache.
That really
what I
does
see.
look like the world's largest mustache.
Cyclops. Upset.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, you take it back to Porsche because the heated seats don't work.
Wow, so that just... I think the smaller lasso was
My
definitely the play.
Buttocks is chilly.
Okay. What?
Solve it.
I feel like a poor.
Oh, I want a cool hood ornament.
I'm sorry.
The wealthy don't have chilled buns.
My buns are seat temperature.
Okay.
Unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
Oh, whoops, I did it again. A super cool and classy hood.
Oh, apparently there's a try again button.
Oh, yeah, I probably should have used that.
That's a good idea. So what are you doing a hood? Oh. Well. To be fair, you did kind of put it in you did circle kind of a weird spot for a hood ornament.
What? No, I wanted it to be coming in right here. I don't know. It's kind of.
You circled way above
Yeah,
that.
he's kind of sitting on there. I mean, you could put a hood ornament there.
Sure.
I just need a second one.
It's technically on the hood.
Whoops.
Is it? Is it on the fender?
Oh shoot! I Control Z'd and it didn't. Oh. Yeah. I think it's sitting kind of here. Yeah. No, for sure. So
It's on
can
the
I?
hood, though.
Can I tell it to? Well, here I'm co-creator image creator. Can I tell it to like get another one? You know. Like here, like. Can I just like grab this and hey, it's still paint.
Yep.
Okay, well no, that's fine. I can use paint. Here we go. What about second one? There we go. Okay, so hold on. I've got a plan for this though.
Remove the background?
There's a plan. Yeah. So I'm gonna just give it the old oh
Shribbity
crud.
crud.
Yep. Well.
Shrubby-boop.
What? Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Good luck with this. Okay. What? Oh. Okay. I think I'm about to remove something. Remove just removes. So.
I
I mean, you know, from far enough away.
You have to go pretty far.
Yeah, you got to go pretty far away. You got to go pretty far away from far enough away. You have now hit the bird. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I need a license plate.
Okay.
I need a license plate on the front because
And after you do the license plate, I think I'm officially bored.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, next you get to check out Notepad, which would be even more exciting.
No, I'm not doing that. I can do that. Do you want me to do that? Do we have to do
This is
that?
neat, though. I like a lot that it's local. I understand it's not as
I
good.
didn't realize that it was local. That
doesn't seem as
very impressive.
good. Well, someone in Floatplane chat said it is. I'm
pretty sure it is.
This is a Snapdragon.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is
like, that's
super neat.
cool. I like local of this stuff. That's awesome. So, even if it's not as good, that's fine.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's a license plate on the
It
car.
sure is.
That's a hood ornament. It's also on the car. That first face might have been a little
Fender
cursed,
ornament.
but it did kind of look like it was a guy he was in the car somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
he might have had the shifter
He's
like
just
wedged between his butt cheeks, but
it's not going anywhere.
yeah, that's safe. That's
Yeah.
it for safety.
Yep. What if you got in a crash?
You don't want it to accidentally go backwards when you meant to go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you got to look both ways at the same time, like that guy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, he's safe. He's a safe driver. So, Notepad. Seriously, is there anything that is important to look at in Notepad? Or
I don't know. It does like
generate.
generative stuff. If you want to just like talk about it, you could show it. I don't know if it's.
Here's what I'm curious about. Why are we putting development into Notepad and killing WordPad? Why didn't we just kill Notepad and make WordPad better? Like, what was the rationale here? Maybe someone from Microsoft. Anyone from Microsoft in the chat? Do you want to tell me why Notepad was the focus, please? Anyone? Bueller?
I feel like they killed the WordPad because it was probably harder to maintain.
You think so?
And then they were able to just ignore Notepad because there was nothing going on, so it wasn't going to break.
But they aren't ignoring Notepad. They're like making Notepad
I'm saying
AI now.
why they made that decision in the past.
Oh, maybe.
But then people like me have
I
just
know-
been very exclusively, very committed relationship style using Notepad++ for like a decade and will never go back. So
just like WordPad. I know they killed it because it was
Fight
too
me.
close to Word, but I needed a way to open docs without
yeah.
having Word. Like they're just pushing me straight into the arms of Google.
For one time in the last 12 years, I've had to open a Word document. I don't have Word installed. I have no reason to have Word installed. I would still like to be able to open this document.
Yeah, that's what WordPad was for.
Yeah, it was fine. It was not bloaty. It was fine.
Open docs is a thing. Yeah, that's fine. But the only reason I don't have Word is because I'm just setting up this computer. So I don't want to install any software. I just want to open this bloody document because it has the serial for the piece of software that I'm installing or something. Like it's just, I don't know. All right, let's do another topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, MsPaint. It's
Yeah.
something. Luke, what do you want to do?
AMD rockets forward.
Yeah, let's do it.
According to Mercury Research, AMD's desktop CPU market share has climbed 10% in the last year. This has manifested most clearly in widespread reports that the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D has sold out at retailers throughout Europe and North America. And I mean, I'm not surprised. If you ask anyone what CPU they should get, if they're a gamer, they say whatever the best X3D chip is, and that's just what it's been for a while. Anyways, they have apparently sold out within minutes on Amazon and Best Buy. Wow. Newegg has claimed that they are out of individual units of the 9800 X3D, but they are, for some unexplained reason, still offering the 9800 X3D plus motherboard bundles. That's not an
explain
unexplained
that.
reason at all. Yeah.
I can explain that. They
Yeah.
need to sell motherboards.
Yep.
And AMD in their, probably they're regretting it now. AMD in their sort of time of being necessarily pro-consumer created this expectation of their motherboard sockets lasting for a very long time. So they've created this environment where they launch a new CPU and there's absolutely no accessory attach sales, just
Yep.
new CPUs.
Yep. So Newegg's like, yeah, you're buying motherboard and a lot of times RAM. Some of their bundles have motherboards and
Yep,
RAM.
that's how they get you.
Yeah. Further, there have been recent reporting that AMD's data center business unit has started outselling Intel's for the first time in its history. Though this comes with some caveats, roughly $1 billion of AMD's $3.5 billion in data center sales is accounted for by machine learning, MI? Accelerators, an area that Intel doesn't particularly compete in. Without that key $1 billion, Intel's $3.3 billion remains the top spot. Intel knows, I've heard, I didn't dive into it, I've heard the most recent gen of Intel server processors are actually quite good, despite their consumer stuff being, Intel knows that they have messed up. I think it would be pretty hard to not know that at this point, but okay. Intel knows that they messed up. In an interview with Hot Hardware, VP of Technical Marketing Robert Halleck acknowledged the launch of Arrow Lake didn't go as planned, citing a series of issues the company has now identified at an OS level and at the BIOS level, and saying that the performance we saw in reviews, to be very clear, no fault of reviewers, was not what we expected and not what we intended.
Can I interject for a moment? The expectation that you're referring to as not what you expected, or as I've come to know it, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is,
it's good. It's just good.
I can't remember the copy past. I have like 300 confirmed kills.
Yeah.
You little Sorry, another copy past. Don't worry about it. The point is, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that whole line was like, what?
If you guys didn't have partner boards and you guys can't like launch a game and like, no offense to our team, but compared to the kinds of engineering resources that Intel can afford, we're just a bunch of random bumblefucks playing with gaming computers. Like, what if you guys can't contact Gigabyte or MSI or Asus, be like, hey bro, do you mind sending over a motherboard so we can put a CPU in it and maybe open a fucking game and see if it like gets some FPS? The tools for evaluating this stuff, they're all free. What are you talking about? To be clear, I believe him. I believe that this whole thing was super rushed. I mean, and I believe that they absolutely didn't do the planning that they needed to execute this launch the way that they needed to execute. We did not get the 265K.
Yeah.
We had to go buy one after the fact, which, to be clear, I can afford.
Yeah.
I bought 10 7800X3Ds or whatever it was.
The problem is the availability.
The problem is that our job is to bring you guys information about these products so that you can make an informed decision, and Intel didn't deem it fucking necessary to send us probably the most compelling chip in the entire stack. So our launch day review just doesn't have any data for it. Over what? Like, seriously, like bomb cost of this chip. What, because so many people were going to need to buy them? Just send us like $80 worth of sand and heat spreader so we can have the numbers for the people.
If it's really that important to you, we can send it back.
Yeah, really, honestly. What were you thinking? Sending us the 245K and the 285K and not the middle of the road. What were you thinking, bud?
Yeah. Yeah, this didn't go as planned. The performance we saw in reviews was not what we expected.
Dude, the last minute changes that we were getting.
From when? Maybe what they expected 2 years ago from this launch. Maybe. I don't know. But if that expectation was set anytime, even sort of recently, like, what are you talking about?
Anyway,
Yeah, I didn't even notice this. Our own notes have, despite their own Arrow Lake launch benchmarks, highlighting the new flagship losing to the 14900K, 9950X, and 7950X 3D. And then we have links to their slides. Like, yeah, like it was my understanding that they knew. This doesn't make much sense. I didn't want to talk about like meetings that we had from them, but like, what is this statement?
Here we go. Where's yeah, they're literally like, yeah, we're on par, but like lower power, and also we like lose at a lot of games.
Which
it's like, okay, but like
personally, I think that's fine. It's just not exciting for me to buy it. But like, you know, if you're like, hey, this is a massive generational change for us. We didn't take as much of a step forward performance-wise as we had hoped, but we saved a ton on power, and we're hoping that we're able to, you know.
But like literally, here's your slide.
Then sure,
you lose in 5 games and you win in 4. Like, stop it.
3?
No, this one counts. 4%.
Is that a oh, they didn't make it blue. All the other ones are blue.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know.
Okay. Sure.
It's a lot of really nice praise for our graphs lately, and especially that last video. So, you know, shout out. Shout out Sammy, other more different Sammy than the last Sammy that I shouted out today. Shout out the team for making graphs that are better than Intel can make. Yeah.
Boom roasted.
Yeah, because Intel's kind of a big company. I mean, not as big as they used to be, but they're big. Well, what? Maybe they shouldn't have canceled Intel Extreme Tech Upgrade.
Maybe
that was where it all went downhill.
Honestly,
that was the beginning of the end.
I think the timeline of that lines up pretty well.
Yep. If they had just stuck with Intel Extreme Tech Upgrade, this never would have happened. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm, yep. So Zen Kitty says salty Linus. I'm not salty. AMD picked it up right where they left off, and I don't know if we've ever told AMD this, but they pay more. Well, what? It was an established series by that point. Intel had the benefit of that they took a risk on it.
Yeah.
And then when AMD picked it up, it was like, well, we know this is an absolute banger, so time to pony up.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
It makes sense.
What do you want?
I feel like we've always been pretty open about that kind of stuff.
No, man. I don't know. We're a highly transparent company, and you know, some people will attack us for that. They'll look for gaps in the armor, and they'll kind of try and wedge something in there. And I think most people, I think the silent majority, sees what we do and sees what we're willing to talk about, and kind of goes, okay, yeah, I think I have the measure of who these guys are and what they're about, and that's the way it is. I mean, look, I've made it very clear at every stage that I'm not friends with any of these corporations that we cover. I never will be. And this is transactional. They want exposure on our channel, exposure to our audience. We clearly disclose what is paid. And that's it. There's your talking points. It's separate from our opinions. It's all on the up and up. What else do we want to talk about today? Oh, this is so cool. YouTuber iBoff RCC has created a custom PCB add-on and swappable SSD modules for M-series Macbooks. This is so cool. Check this out. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. The design isn't finalized. It requires a second Mac to run Apple Configurator to complete the setup because, I don't know, Apple hates their customers. Who knows? But the DIY M.2 port was demonstrated to take modules up to 2 terabytes and hit similar speeds to Apple's own soldered storage. Because, of course it does, because it's all just hooked up to PCIe anyway these days, because that's what everybody's using for everything. And this distinction between special Apple SSD and other more different SSD is completely unnecessary, other than so that they can sell you an SSD upgrade for $200 for like $19 worth of NAND. Anyway, iBoff found that strangely the MacBook requires the SSD to be installed in order for the battery to charge, which they said was just another reason why the SSD should be replaceable. Currently, Apple charges the same amount for two 16 gigs RAM / 256 gig storage Mac Minis as it does for a single Mac Mini with twice the amount of RAM and storage. So literally it's costing you twice as much to just upgrade the RAM and storage as an entire machine with half as much RAM and storage. Now, this is cool. Curiously,
there was the posts about that had a lot of traction.
Curiously, it seems that the new M4 Mac Mini does have a single removable storage module. However, Mac Rumors notes that it's likely that the controller for the storage is still embedded in the SoC, limiting DIY upgrade and repair. Similar modules have been found in the Mac Studio and the Mac Pro. Anyway, I just want to show this. This is so cool. I hate that this innovation, which is super cool, is necessary. I don't understand why Apple hates their customers so much, and I don't understand why their customers continue to bend over and take it and be happy about it.
But the modding is really cool, and I've enjoyed that on this show and in the last show. We've been able to highlight some cool community modders that are finding ways.
Oh, sorry. His mod was on the MacBook. That's the Mac Mini replaceable module from Apple. Sorry.
Oh,
that was the wrong pic I was showing. Hold on, I'll find it. My bad, you guys. I
have something to go over after you find that.
God, I thought that didn't look right. I hadn't seen the M4 Mac thing yet. You muted me?
Yeah, you played that audio.
Oh yeah. I hadn't seen the M4 Mac Mini one yet, but I thought that's not what the thing looked like, is it? Yeah, here it is, dude. So cool. Ew. So you guys got to go watch this. Here, Dan, do you want to throw the link in everything but Floatplane chat? I'll throw it in Floatplane chat. Bookmark this. Go watch it later, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah,
love it.
Sick. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, you brought up our graphs looking nice, and then you thought they were better than Intel's.
Well, I mean, it's not that I think they're better than Intel's. It's that Intel hates their graphs.
Aggressively.
They're unhappy about them.
That we're better at Intel, at everything that Intel does that we also do. Kidding.
Can my iPhone just like chill out and stop interfering with my mic?
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm done with the iPhone.
I'm wondering, when are you switching off? You said that
I shot the video
2 weeks
today.
Ago. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Video shot.
Okay. Witness.
Witness you got some silver spray paint?
Yeah. I am interested in your thoughts in how much this adds or doesn't add to the video. Okay? All right? Okay. Did you see?
No.
Keep watching. Wait for the next one. I'm sure he's just talking right now. Yeah. Whoa. You see? What do you think?
If it's very little work,
what are your thoughts?
Then it's super cool.
Whoa. Yeah.
If it's very little work.
How much work do you think would be defined as very little work? Like having the graph be animated, like this one. So the phone that we're actually talking about gets like kind of inserted in, stuff like that.
So here's my thing.
I think
if you have a video that has, I would say, less than half a dozen graphs, then by all means spend the extra 15 minutes that it'll take to do this to each one, or 5 minutes, or whatever it is. If you have a video that's like a CPU review and there's 20, 30 graphs, I forbid it.
The reason why I'm asking is basically when Labs is exporting graphs and charts and stuff, it would be exported in a different format.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, do we export the AI file so it's modifiable by the editor?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we export just like a PNG?
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks pretty nice.
I think it looks pretty nice. But I hear
what you're saying when there's like the most recent CPU video that we did.
Yep.
Like the amount of graphs that were in this, that could get cumbersome. I could see that.
And the thing is that there'd be
a lot. There's also a lot of lines.
I'd say a solid 75% of the time on LTT. Here, I'm going to bring up your laptop here. I'd say a solid 75% of the time on LTT, when we're uploading a really graph-heavy video, it's an embargo video.
Yeah, so
we are time constrained. We're already crunching.
Yeah.
So if you tell me, we're going to add something unnecessary, we're going to animate it, we're going to make it pretty, we're going to make it shiny, I'm going to say, give me a really, really good reason. And I'm sorry, but pretty is not a good enough reason in this case. I don't think that I see a clear enough benefit. Now, if your team can figure out how all of that just happens automatically, and there's some kind of like slick web interface
for the file or whatever,
where you just kind of say like, highlight this one, and then it just like runs a magic behind the scenes animation thing or something. I don't know.
This is the one of importance, so it does some. Yeah, I don't know. We can explore that type of stuff.
That is not what that looked like to me. That looked like
that wasn't. I don't believe that was that.
That looked like After Effects or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what they used for
we
that.
Just gave the file.
The only honestly. And the other thing too is like there's a little bit of if it ain't broke, don't fix it in my response as well. People are super happy with this. There's things that I would do differently. I prefer a highlight compared to a dot at the end.
I prefer a box.
I vastly prefer
like
a box.
A red wireframe box. I don't want to actually highlight it. I want it to be around it.
But I was told that the audience largely preferred the dot. Really? Even though for me the dot is much more difficult to track because it moves in multiple on multiple axes.
Yeah.
But this is one of those cases where I'm not just going to impose my will, because at the end of the day, who's our boss?
Audience.
You're just knocking down what I'm setting up.
You're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, you'll just knock down everything. You know what? Fine. I'm going to give the hints anyway. It's not me and it's not Taryn. There. Go ahead. You can do it again.
It's Dan. It's the audience.
I'm not liking the projections of where we're going. I want more Luke.
Huh?
More Luke in videos.
Huh? Huh? I'm down. Put me in, coach.
I'm going to strike the WAN Show. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. It's cool, but I just don't see the, man, what would I compare this to?
That MAC address video only had like 3 graphs or something.
Well, that's the thing.
So
right?
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like I could see on a more like lifestyle channel.
They're also really early in the video.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that you guys will, now that I'm going to say it, you're going to notice it. We make much heavier investments in like
you have to
more expensive shots, locations, props, editing in the first like few minutes of a video compared to what we're willing to do toward the end. We aren't operating on the kinds of budgets that someone like a Mr. Beast might or whatever, so that every second of the video is designed with the expectation that you will be watching it and you must continue to watch it. We're just it's like, realistically not everyone is going to be into this server network card. So we'll do everything we can to hook you. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're kind of okay with that.
Protect the server network card from incoming hackers and win $1 million. The server network card is in a pit.
The pit is full of snakes.
Oh, there's a train coming. What are you going to do?
The train's on fire.
This is just tech support Saw now.
I don't even watch Mr. Beast videos. All of that guessing is just from his thumbnails.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Your files are stored on the server. It's running right now. You must pull out the hard drive while it's running.
I hired 7 ex-CIA members to try to break into your server room. Can you keep them out for 24 hours?
Maybe. Do I get a minigun? All right. What are we supposed to be...
I don't know.
What are we supposed to be doing,
topics,
Dan? Keep doing topics until we go to After Dark, I think.
Nvidia says 100 hours of gaming ought to be enough for anyone.
Wrong!
I mean, I'm not necessarily...
Fake news!
I'm not necessarily proud that they're wrong, but they are wrong.
Wrong.
Nvidia announced a few changes to Geforce Now, their game streaming service, the majority of which were upgrades. The priority membership tier has been rebranded as Performance and will now have a max resolution of 1440p instead of 1080p, while remaining at $10 a month. And it also comes with an ultra-wide option. Super cool.
Wait, 100 hours monthly? Oh, they're like actually wrong. People are actually going to be upset about that.
Can you stop getting ahead of things?
No.
However, both the Performance tier and the $20 Ultimate tier will now have a 100-hour monthly limit, which Luke spoiled.
What?
which Nvidia says
I'm learning about this right now.
it is doing to avoid global price increases.
Because some random people are putting in 200 hours a week.
The limit works out to just above 3 hours a day, which Nvidia says accommodates 94% of their user base. Nonetheless, some users, 6% of them, did the math for them there, were extremely unhappy and expressed doubt that 94% of GeForce Now users were using it 100 hours a month or less. I have some bad news for you guys. Nvidia is probably not lying. You actually have a problem.
You win in those gaming lobbies because you don't do anything else.
Yeah. Which isn't a problem. It's okay to have a problem. That's not a problem. It's just you can quit. You can quit anytime you want.
Yeah.
Nvidia will charge $3 for an additional 15 hours of performance and $6 for 15 hours of Ultimate. So basically, you're paying a third.
Whoa.
You're paying a third of your monthly rate for. Well, how does that math work?
It's more expensive.
No, yeah, it's more expensive. Why is it more expensive? That's stupid.
I think it would be less expensive.
Yeah. No, you'd think it would be more expensive because the other one is subsidized by the people who use it so little. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it would be more expensive. So that's probably closer to what it actually costs them, which interestingly probably gives us some insight into the actual math for how much people are actually using the service compared to, like if you use it, so if they can afford, what was it, 100 hours a month for $10 and another 15 hours costs them $3, then basically what that means is for every person who's using it 100 hours, you've got people who are barely touching it.
Forgot about the subscription, using it for 0 hours.
Yeah, in order to have that math work out. But very, very interesting. Plus there's some profit margin baked into both calculations probably. Mm-hmm. Yep. Live streaming is extremely expensive. None of this surprises me at all. And
especially when you make it like difficult live streaming.
It also doesn't surprise me at all that, now that you're locked into a subscription service, that subscription service would look to alter the deal. This is why we should probably,
refrain.
Scrapyard Wars, a mediocre PC rather than buy into a subscription service that can be yoinked on us at any time.
I thought you were going to say put up the cost of a floatplane subscription.
Ooh.
Yeah, spend your money on Floatplane instead. Got him.
Oh.
How much does WAN cost? Asks Luca103.
A bunch.
I don't think we know exactly, do we? Oh no, you do.
There's ways to figure it out. I don't know off the top of my head. It also changes like per episode because we'll stream for 2 hours, then we'll stream for 4.5.
Yeah.
So like
I'm going to start sending it at 40 meg.
Can you gut? Sure.
It actually like
why don't we just do it?
Won't make a difference, to be honest.
No, Twitch will freak out.
Oh
yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's their problem.
Multi-streaming. It's not a problem. I mean, because what we receive from here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that
really
actually doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's true. We transcode it anyway.
Yeah. Who cares?
Garbage in, garbage out, though. Less garbage in, less garbage out. Let's do it at 8K. 8K WAN show. That actually reminds me, man, these C200s have been absolute
just tanks.
Workhorses. Yeah.
Been here forever.
Yeah, we used to use these for like trade shows and stuff, and we ended up not getting a lot of use out of them there, but boy, have they ever been great for the WAN show. Look at that. We got all these camera angles. It's like, whoa, I've got
a C100 at home. They're indestructible.
Yeah.
Great little cameras.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think these C200s are like $8,000 a body though, but maybe more.
There's no way they're worth that anymore.
Not anymore. Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we did pay quite a lot for them.
Speaking of paying quite a lot for it, the Dow drops Intel. Intel has been removed from its 25-year position in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I think we hinted to this last week, but it has happened, I guess. The go-to benchmark to measure the health of the U.S. stock market, being the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This likely indicates that the maintainers of the Dow Jones believe that Intel's recent struggles are skewing the average in a way not generally reflective of the market as a whole. And they were like, damn, we can get Nvidia in here? And then they did that. Its position has been replaced with Nvidia. which the S&P Dow Jones indicates apparently views as a more accurate reflection of the chip-making sector.
To that, I don't necessarily agree with.
I don't agree
NVIDIA's
with
has
that
been
at
as
all.
much of an anomaly as Intel has been over the last little bit.
Yeah,
but-
they're just on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Which I understand why you want that, but what you're saying just isn't true. Anyways,
So
yeah,
that's cool.
discussion question: is Nvidia really the company that's most reflective of the sector? No. Nice. It is a good discussion question. We just got to it too early. Oops.
A network along your skin. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University have developed a method of transmitting 40 megahertz RF energy along human skin, allowing the user to remotely power extremely small wearable devices that otherwise could not fit a battery, such as a patch that logs medical data.
Whoa.
This power could be delivered from head to toe from a power source worn elsewhere on the body. Startup Ixana has created a prototype YR chip that uses a similar method to send Bluetooth/Wi-Fi signals through the body's skin, thereby connecting multiple devices without broadcasting a wider, potentially insecure signal. This would likewise allow users to share a connection through skin-to-skin contact. Like a handshake or a high five. You could literally like handshake someone and like exchange contact information.
Whoa.
Like if you had, some like wearable thing.
Modern
or
handshakes.
Isn't that cool?
Whoa.
You touch people, says Sinful Hands. I mean, well, geeks are...
It's kind of funny that
Yeah.
someone whose name in chat is Sinful Hands says, ew, touch people.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of works.
It does. It works.
Yeah.
You're not as on as me today. I'm sorry.
Rude.
So the discussion question here is, what kinds of wearable devices can you imagine with this technology? I mean, medical ones, I think, are obvious. We can kind of...
What about embedded ones, too?
Embedded in the skin. Well, I don't know. The signal goes along the skin. So you'd almost have to have... I mean, that would be kind of cyberpunk looking, right? Because you'd have all the contacts and traces on the surface.
Interesting.
And then it's just like, buried in your muscle somewhere or whatever else. Like a... man, I don't know. Like, could you...
Because like if you had a heart rate monitor that didn't increase the bulk along your body, that could be kind of nice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Neuro amp. What are you guys talking
Like,
about?
yeah, if you had a heart rate monitor that was powered through you, I guess, and it could maybe like remotely transmit to your phone or something, so you could still check what it's reading. Be interesting.
I mean, yeah, you could say powered tattoos. That'd be cool.
E-ink tattoos.
That would be so cool. Okay, now people are getting me some good ideas here.
Imagine a tattoo that changes based on your heart rate.
Oh my God, yeah, you could have like a little display in your inner wrist.
What about earrings with lights on them?
Dude, you could have that'd be sick. You could have complicated like tattoos that reveal different details
or like
based on
other powered jewelry. Or like, oh man, you could have like a necklace that like changes color with your mood, except actually, not like those like cheap mood rings or
it's like
whatever.
actually based on something.
But that is like actually based on like your anxiety level and stuff like that. Like, and sure, the privacy issues, blah, blah, people would do it. People would do it.
Internal cardiac monitors.
Dude, this is so cool.
I mean, my thought is like, I'm just surreptitiously touching the back of your neck and stealing all your data and stuff like that, right? Like,
Dan,
I shake your hand. And
why you got to go there with it?
Who?
You don't even have the courage to show your face, telling us all your ideas about stealing other people's data, and you can't even. Okay, yeah, there he is. All right.
Apparently, this is a thing already. Internal cardiac monitors.
Yeah, I think so.
Implantable loop
You
recorders.
just put them in your heart, right?
Yeah, because they just run on like super long life batteries.
Yeah, I guess.
But the cool thing about it is that you're doing networking and power just over the skin. So you could just have like a little pack on your wrist, like where a watch would be, and it could just power and communicate as almost like a smart home hub, like a smart body hub.
What if it's in your back pocket and then you just sit down on a wireless charging chair?
Whoa.
Yeah. Butt charging.
Whoa.
I mean, that would probably be actually a really good idea. So
Is that like
I'm
a
sticking
football
with
penalty? Like if the center ges attacked.
If the quarterback just like runs into the center. What are we talking about? Anyways,
Steam.
moving on. Yeah.
Steam recording. Super cool feature. Steam has officially launched built-in game recording, which allows gamers to record their sessions without using a second app. Players can start a recording manually or set it to start automatically. And there are likewise options to restrict the length, quality, and storage space that Steam can use. These settings can be configured differently for each game. However, the accessibility of these recording options and the broader audience of Steam users might cause problems for users who are less familiar with things like SSD degradation. As pointed out by u/crass_spectacle, Steam game recording has a max write rate of 50 megabits per second, around 22.5 gigabytes per hour. If it was used regularly at the highest settings, this could cause significant SSD degradation over time. Notably, the highest write quality on Nvidia's own recording feature maxes out at 150 megabits per second, which is significantly higher, but is also something that you generally is generally a little more tech savvy to access, rather than just what your kids using the family computer are going to be able to figure out how to configure. Our discussion question is this a realistic concern for most people? And I'm of kind of two minds on this. On the one hand, yes, this will, compared to how the average user is expected to use their PC and what SSD makers have been targeting over the last 10 years with the move from SLC to MLC to TLC to QLC to even PLC flash, with far less endurance as we move to each new generation, but higher capacity, meaning that you're less likely to overwrite it. But then now that we're going to overwrite it, we've been building products for this paradigm where people are like kind of occasionally copying some footage or downloading a new game, but generally speaking are barely even touching their drive,
which is pretty accurate
for
the
writes.
most part.
Yeah. And then we're throwing this into the mix. I do think that people who didn't think they needed a premium drive with better endurance are going to suddenly find out, I do need a premium drive with better endurance. However, the other side of me wants to point out that it's been studied a couple of times, small sample sizes, unfortunately, so I don't know how reliable and how trustworthy it is, but it's been looked at a couple of times by, I forget which publications have done it, where they've done endurance tests on SSDs and found that in general, they actually last way longer than what they're rated for.
Pretty good, yeah.
So
I also, when I use Shadowplay, I just write to my hard drive.
Sorry, just gotta move my leg.
Not
there we
that
go.
guy, but yeah.
Yeah, you should probably just use a hard drive for this.
Yeah.
In a NAS, ideally.
Yeah.
But most people don't have a NAS. I mean,
that's very true.
There really hasn't been like a DIY NAS software that is easy enough to use that that just anyone who could build their own PC could just install it and be good to go and configure everything, and
I gotta cut them off.
All the shares just work. That's the one that hopefully theoretically I just invested in.
Proxmox.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's easy and approachable for the everyman.
Yeah.
That voice is Dan's like, I am screaming inside. I am also dying.
Oh, it's fine. That's
I think
all
it's time
of my
for After Dark.
voices.
That's a
Sure,
a few of
let's
them.
go.
Dan's switching it over.
Push the buttons.
All right. We got a lot of merch messages today. Oh, not too many.
Too many. I think we're doing pretty okay. Let's see. Heyo, DLL. Notice the Apple Watch accompanying the switch to iPhone. Linus, what do you think of it so far?
Considering how amped I was on smartwatches at the start, like I loved my Pebble, I have just kind of completely fallen out of love with them. And maybe it's because the product category sort of moved away from me. Maybe it's because I moved away from the product category. Like it feels like at the beginning, they were about getting notifications without taking your phone out of your pocket, and in some cases, as they got a little bit more sophisticated, interacting with those notifications to make them go away. And you can still do that, like being able to get a text while I'm on the court at the gym or something like that, and fire back a quick message. It's fine, it's good, but all the
like trying to do too much.
All the functionality that they've added since then around telling me to stand up. I can't right now. I'm in the middle of a podcast recording. It doesn't have the awareness to
just make the cameras, the table, everything. We should just make everything stand.
Yeah, everything
every 45 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get right on that.
Hell yeah.
So all this extra stuff that they've added, the health tracking, it's not meaningful to me. I mean, when I'm a senior citizen and I'm worried about fall detection or whatever else, yeah, maybe I'll be more interested in something like that. But
the health tracking that especially Apple has been doing is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think
not necessarily relevant.
I think Plouffe made a really good point in his script where we were talking about their most recent event, where he was like, "Yeah, it's funny how the older Tim Apple gets, the more seniors' health tracking makes its way into their products."
To be fair, it's also aging generation of a lot of Western countries.
Absolutely. The most affluent generation in the United States is the baby boomers, and they're getting older.
They be old.
They're getting older.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to tell the time quickly and conveniently on my wrist.
You can do that with a lot of things.
I don't like having to charge it every day. That's a downer.
Yeah.
You notice I'm not wearing it today. I just forgot to put it on, and I didn't notice until someone asked me what time it was. That was really the only... I don't know. Maybe part of it is that since I first got a smartwatch, I just am on my phone a lot more, and that's probably a bad thing. Maybe I should get in the habit of using my watch to interact with notifications.
If it got you off your phone more often, which reduced the total phone and watch usage time, then I think that there's value there.
Yeah,
but if you're just replacing phone time with watch time 1-to-1, I don't see value there personally.
I don't use any of the other apps. To me, the whole I am exercising right now. This is the type of exercise I'm doing. Until you can just tell that I'm exercising with all of your advanced, sophisticated measures and sensors and everything. What are we even doing here? To me, it's like counting calories. I'm logging the thing that I'm eating, and that's really useful for a lot of people, depending on what your goals are. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Depending on your goals, that has a ton of value. For me, it has. I am not even close, dude. I can go take something out of my freezer and think, okay, I need to go into my food checklist app and I need to update the inventory in the freezer. And by the time I have put it down on the counter, I have completely forgotten that I needed to do that. Expecting me to count calories or remember to log that I'm about to start exercise, it's not going to happen.
The only way I was able to count calories was when I had pre-planned what I was going to eat for the entire day. And I never deviated. Because then it was okay, well, I could put in my calories for the next week. It's figured out already.
Someone says they really like it for sleep tracking. Dude, if I have to, the only way that I can remember to charge something is if it's overnight. So, yeah. There's people at work here that have an Apple Watch charger on their desk. So they'll take it off and they'll put it on the charger so that they can use it for sleep tracking. I would leave my watch at work every other day. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
There's absolutely no way that it would make it home 5 out of 5 days in a week.
I'd probably leave it at your house half the time I visit you.
Oh, yeah, sure. Dude, you would leave your keys at my house if you were able to leave without them.
Yeah.
100%. That would be a hilarious troll sometime, to just leave your key in your car and then just see if you leave without your keys. Because I bet you would.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
All right, what else we got?
Okay, let's see. Archive. Hey, DLL, my friends and I have a long-running tradition during a LAN party on Black Friday every year. What are some of your favorite memories, games, and food to have at a LAN party?
Van Gelly says, new watch charges so fast, I literally only put it on the charger when I shower and otherwise wear it 24/7. Bold of you to assume I shower every day. Only exercise days, which is at least it's about 2 out of every 3 days. So I'm not a complete like barbarian or whatever, but no, my life is not routine enough for anything that doesn't fit in the very limited routines that I can manage. Starcat1 says, shower every day, man. You know you don't have to, right? I'm just saying. And it's totally fine to shower every day, but you also like don't have to. Or maybe you do, which is fine. I'm not judging.
Yeah. For me, honestly, it depends how stressed I get.
Oh, stress sweat stinks.
Oh, mine is. I'm sure everyone's is, but I only really have experience with mine. Mine is brutal, dude. If I'm just chilling,
yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Slather on another layer of deodorant.
Yeah, like it honestly doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If I have some like really serious conversations, boy, I need to shower. Like it's not an option past a certain point.
Yeah.
Oh man.
LAN memories, games, and food, dude. I think it was like COD 2, which I had never played. I got a bunch of copies of it from work because there was like a COD 2 like GPU bundle and we didn't move through them all. I was like, can I have some of these discs? And they were like, okay. So I showed up at this LAN and I had like 8 copies of COD 2 and we completely lost track of whatever the objective was supposed to be. And we started playing this like King of the Hill, except it was like at the very top of this water tower and there was like over half a dozen of us. So it was functionally impossible to get to the top of it. I think it happened that way because someone got up there unnoticed at some point in the match and just started like spawn sniping everybody. And we were like, what the heck? That's a good spot. I want it. And it just devolved into the longest, like completely there's no scorekeeping because it wasn't part of the game mode of the game, but
King
just
of the Hill.
The longest, most ridiculously impossible King of the Hill match
Those are the best
that I've ever participated in.
Custom goals, custom rules, all that kind of stuff. Those are always like the best way to play games. It's more fun. My favorite LAN memory, and I'm not even going to remember it correctly because it was from so long ago, but my birthdays when I was in high school were always LAN parties at my parents' house. And one year we went really hard on Halo 2 custom rules versus. And if I remember correctly, we had like, it was a birthday party, so we tried to go a little bit overboard, and we had people bring like couches and TVs and stuff from their houses, and we put. If I think I'm getting this right, I could be wrong. I think this is how it worked. I think we had 2 TVs and 2 couches in the garage, and 2 TVs and 2 couches inside. And there was 1 team inside and 1 team outside, and we had a tournament of Halo 2 on one particular map that I'm not going to remember the name of. And it was either like swords and shotguns, or I feel like it was swords and rockets. But I feel like we played more swords and shotguns, but I don't know. I don't remember why I'm thinking rocket. But it was 49-49. There was 2 players alive, and it came down to there was one with a sword and one with whatever the other weapon was. I think it was a rocket, and they both attacked at the same time. Nobody knew who won the game until the score screen came up.
No way.
And the house just exploded. It was crazy. It was so cool. It was so like, oh man, like. It was great. It was very fun. And like every part of that LAN, those types of LANs are fun because like people are showing up with couches in the backs of their parents' van, and their parents are like, I don't even understand what's happening, but I mean, at least you're not like doing drugs or something, so fine. And then we're like finding ways to network these 2 Xboxes together, and we're not only planning on playing Xbox, we also have another network going on for all these computers, and we're all learning how this stuff works, buying switches from NCIX, doing whatever, getting stuff going.
Crazy.
Like the whole thing's just super fun. I don't know. Those were good times.
I feel like kids are kind of missing out on that. My son was playing Rocket League with one of his friends, and I was like, hey, you never invite me to play games? And he was like, okay, yeah. My dad's joining us. And they're like, okay, sure, whatever, we'll carry. You know how bad I am at Rocket League. I did one useful thing, though.
What'd you do?
I don't know. I don't remember. I like hit it somewhere that was useful, and then we scored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
don't worry about it.
Nice,
Anyway, the point is, his friend pulled off what's it called, a reset or something like that.
A flip reset.
Sure. Yeah. So
You touch your wheels to the puck while it's in the air, and then you get another jump. I'm assuming that's what happened.
it was with the
Or
ball.
it's not right.
Yeah.
I play Snow Day.
It's
Anyways,
fine. Anyway,
whatever.
the point is you have to touch all 4 wheels to the ball while you're in the air, and then you get another flip while you're in the air, which is beneficial in some way or something.
Yeah.
And he was really excited about pulling it off or whatever. And he was sitting in his house by himself.
Yeah.
And
not
we
the
were on a
same.
Discord call, and so, that was cool. But like,
It's cool. It's not the same.
it's different.
Yeah, I feel like things get diluted, right? And like you think
Yeah.
it's the same, and a lot of people don't do LAN parties anymore because they're like, oh, we can just play over the internet and stuff, but it's not.
And
It's
no one-
not, man.
And no one can cheat in person, which, man, is such a problem online now.
Oh, you can, but it's
Yeah,
like
well-
it's a lot harder.
Not with friends. Like, you can, but you won't.
But like, I mean, that's yeah. And there's even some fun in that because then I don't know. I find the setup of this type of stuff interesting. I know not everyone would, but like the whole idea of being in the garage and stuff was there is no screen peeking. To screen peek, you'd have to run through the house. Like it's not happening.
Yeah.
But you can still hear each other. If you look, the door is propped open so you can see each other.
Yeah.
But the screens are this way to each
Yeah,
other,
man.
right? So you can't see the screens, but you can yell at each other and do whatever. Yeah, it's just good times. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, DLL, how's your day going?
It's been a long week.
It's been a week.
When and what are your plans for bonus bin items? I have so many stickers. Yes, I could just get more sticks. Hope you feel better soon, Linus.
I don't know. I think we want to do some like little vinyl figures at one point. I know we're going to do
wow.
more pins.
Vinyl figures.
Honestly, Sarah would know this so much better than me. Maybe next time ask when she does like a design stream or something like that, because she's in the know when it comes to all of that.
Are you asking her now? Shall I move on?
No, Sarah's off work.
No. Hey, LLD from Australia. Any thoughts on the 9800 X3D not being in stock anywhere? Was the release rushed in your opinion?
Not nearly as rushed as Core Ultra 200 series, but I feel like every product release gets kind of crunched and rushed to a certain extent. It's
At a certain point, you have to. You're working with retail partners. You're working with all these other people. There has to be a certain point in time when you launch the thing.
yeah, there's deadlines, and no, I mean,
It's easier to not have those types of deadlines with things like independent game launches because you set the date. But in this situation, like
there's a lot of moving
you're
pieces.
screwing a lot of different people over if you move your date back. So
Yep, or forward or wherever. Like changing anything really disrupts the plans, and
distributors,
and
retailers,
in such a globalized world, right? There's always a time zone where it's highly problematic for someone to be having to deal with this right now.
Hey, DLL, now that you have some new cats, when can we expect the next LinusCatTips video?
I uploaded a short for some reason. I was feeling just inspired to, and one of them like grabbed my feet from under the bed, and I was like, that'd be funny. And then they didn't really do it the same way when I turned on the camera, and then I was like, this wasn't really worth it, so I didn't bother doing any more. That's where I'm at on that.
fair enough. Yeah.
Hey, DLL, have you heard about the iPhone users having all their notes deleted after accepting iCloud's new terms of service? I had 6 months of important notes not backed up due to my 5 gigs of iCloud being full.
Wow. I have not heard. But hey, it just works. Dude, I
Thanks,
feel like
Todd.
I'm going to make some enemies with my iOS 18/iPhone 16
I know you will.
video. I
am certain.
because man, like there's one point where I'm just like, I think the next time someone tells me it's magic, it just works, whatever, I don't know if I'll be able to help it. I might just laugh in their face. Like it's such a like galactically stupid thing to say at this point. And I'm not saying that Android is perfect and just works, and I'm not saying Windows is perfect and just works. I'm saying they're all trash. They're all human. They're all full of bugs and problems. Like, let's just not pretend. That's it. Let's not pretend that because someone says it so that it must be thusly. Like that's not how things work. If something like, and I think the thing that I was going off on was the way to sign in to your Google account on an iPhone, which I know how to do, and we've talked about, and I figured out, but it is just to say that that's intuitive, good design is just so utterly incorrect. I don't really, we're clearly not living on the same planet, speaking the same language. So I don't even know how to talk to you. Like if you think that going into the Apple Mail app in order to sign into your Google account system wide is intuitive or good design. It's just not. It just isn't. And it's funny because I was reflecting on it some more, and you know how the settings app is where it used to be? Before that, if I recall correctly, it actually used to be in the initial setup wizard. Am I remembering incorrectly? Because I seem to recall that it used to be...
I think that was the case on Android.
It's definitely the case on Android.
Yeah.
It's still the case on Android. But I recall seeing that, like Google, Microsoft, that interface right when you are setting up the phone initially. It's amazing. Yeah, people are saying yes. Yeah. Maldar the First says, wait, do they not just have an account section in settings? No, they do not. It is not there. And the people that are like, well, you're just used to Android. No, Apple used to have it. You could be used to literally any other phone, and that's where it should be. Yes, they do not have it. And yes, that is on purpose, you guys. So whenever people say to me, yeah, Apple's just like, it's more intuitive, they're just wrong. Apple's design can be wrong. And there's a lot of things they did really well.
Intuitive is subjective, though, isn't it? Because it could be intuitive to a different person who has different expectations and different approaches.
But you can measure these things. So one of the ways that I measured this one was I checked the number of ratings on the App Store for the first-party Gmail app and the first-party Google Calendar app. Because if you'll recall, what I wanted to do was I wanted to use my Gmail app and I wanted to use Apple's Calendar app because I wanted to try it. I don't actually have any attachment to Apple's Calendar app, but I wanted to try it out. But what I'm not interested in using is Apple's Mail app. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I prefer to just use the Gmail app. And what I found was that the Google Gmail app had 2.2 million ratings on the App Store. The Google Calendar app had like 100,000. So what I can tell you objectively is that my setup, where I wanted to roll the Gmail app and Apple's own calendar app, is clearly a thing that people are doing. 20 times the download rate of the Gmail app versus the Google Calendar app. So the number of people replacing their email client on the iPhone compared to the number of people replacing their calendar client with Google's first-party alternatives, or third-party alternatives, rather.
Yeah, but email is something that's like more important. It's less replaceable than calendar because other people have your contact.
No, all I'm saying is it wasn't intuitive for me necessarily, and neither would it necessarily be for a lot of people to open up Apple's Mail app and use that. Because clearly, lots of people don't use it. They use the Google one. Mm. And clearly, not all of those people also replaced the Google Calendar app. Right. They want to do exactly what I wanted to do. Use the Gmail app and the Apple Calendar app.
Right.
20 times as many ratings.
And you can't do what you're describing?
You can. But if you sign into the Gmail app, it doesn't sign you in system-wide. In order to sign your Google account in on an iPhone, you have to launch Apple's Mail app and sign into your Gmail there.
Okay.
There's nowhere else to do it.
What is the system? What other things are Handyman saying this isn't true? Yeah. What other things are you trying to have logged in? I guess.
Well, I want my contacts to sync.
You want your
I want my calendar to sync.
Okay.
I want my Google account signed in.
Things like your phone.
Yeah.
You can do it in the settings.
No, you can't. Here, It is in my pocket
There's a bunch of different people saying it.
right now.
I think this is going to be the biggest problem with the video. You're almost going to have like an unlisted companion video that goes over like.
It's just like, actually, it really is this stupid.
Here's the defense.
Linus Cam settings. Here we go. Okay. All right. So here is, yep, there we go. Just making sure there's nothing particularly. Okay. Here we go.
Email.
Here is settings, accounts, no third-party accounts, just iCloud, just sign in with Apple, nothing else. Here's the rest of the settings app.
Settings, Apple account, iCloud mail. Well, that's the same thing, isn't it?
There is, but it's not, you can't sign into Gmail there.
Settings, Apple account, iCloud mail.
But I don't use iCloud.
Settings, apps, calendar accounts.
Settings. Hold on. Settings. Apps.
Apps? Where's app? Okay, calendar.
Right
Below calculator, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
There's a Google button. Should we like go
So hold on
through-
a second. Hold on a second. Is your argument that that's intuitive?
To add an account to that app? If you're an iOS user and it's worked that way for 10 years, like, yeah.
But it didn't used to.
How did it used to? I've never once mainlined an iPhone.
There used to be in settings an accounts parent menu.
Handyman, I don't
Yeah.
think he's saying that
Yeah.
you didn't show him 2 weeks ago. He's saying that doesn't seem intuitive.
I'm saying it's not intuitive. So we will have to do
Can you not get there in the app or something? Or like what's
No,
the...
you can't. That you definitely cannot.
So that feels unintuitive to me.
You
not being able
can't-
to do it in the app.
You can get there in the mail app, not in the calendar app.
But if I'm an iOS user, am I used to going to that settings page to do things like that?
So here's what happens. Here's what happens when you open mail and you aren't signed in. You are prompted to sign in.
So that thing that we got on the other page.
Yes. Here's what happens if you open up the first-party calendar app and you are not signed in.
Yeah, because I'm assuming it just uses like a local account.
Yeah.
Which again, this is what I was kind of trying to point out earlier is like...
Add calendar. Nope. Nothing there. Add. Nope. That's an event.
But people are a little
Nothing.
bit more... is temporal the right word? Like calendars are kind of whatever compared to an email account.
Sure. But so hold on. But the part you're missing is I'm signing into my email, but I'm using the Gmail app. I don't want to use Apple's mail app.
Yeah, but like
I'm not interested in it.
I don't necessarily. If I sign into my Microsoft account on my phone, I don't
Yes.
necessarily want to import my Microsoft Calendar into my Calendars app.
No, but you can be prompted what you do or don't want to sync when you add an account.
Agree, but does it work that way? Like, is there a default calendar app on?
It would be the Google Calendar on Android.
Android,
Yeah.
I don't know that it asks you if you want your Microsoft Calendar stuff in here. Add another account. Can I add a non-Microsoft account this way? Checking info.
Luke's doing stuff. He's cooking.
It's a Google. It immediately assumes a Google account. Manage accounts on this device.
So that should bring you to
And
where
then
you
it
can
brings
sign
me
into any
to
kind of account you
the
want.
settings
Yes.
page, but it's not calendar specific. It's just like everything.
No, but you would go in your calendar app and you would tell it which calendars you want to sync.
I'm in my calendar app though, and add another account is just Google accounts, and then I have manage accounts, which just brings me to all general accounts.
What's the question though?
There's no prompt to add the Microsoft account. You're saying it would be more intuitive if there's a prompt. I'm saying I don't think there's a prompt on Android.
If there's a prompt to add what though?
The Microsoft account.
Oh, the Microsoft account. No.
I would say a Apple Calendar thing, but I don't have one of those, so I can't.
No.
explain it.
I expected account management. The place I expected to find account management was under my name here at the top.
Sure.
Oh, whoops. Dang it. I'm going to figure this out. Camel name. There we go. The place I would expect to find it is under my name here at the top where my Apple account and my iCloud is. I would expect to maybe find all of my accounts there. I might expect to find it under accounts, like under, general accessibility, Siri, all my accounts here. Those are places where I would expect to find system-wide accounts that I log into that work across multiple apps. What I wouldn't expect is for the mail, the default mail and the default calendar app to operate completely different ways in terms of adding a new account. So when I click on mail, it immediately prompts me, hey, do you want to sign in to one of these types of accounts? And we've got important account types like AOL, for example, in there. When I go into the calendar one, it prompts me for nothing. So the only real point that I have with the calendar versus mail one is that they behave completely different ways.
Yeah.
After I've already gone into my settings menu and what would be the most intuitive settings place for me.
Different ways is the unintuitive portion.
After I've already gone into the settings and gone, okay, where the devil do I sign into my bloody Google account?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not prompting you for any other accounts on Android either.
Rysaw says it was much better in iOS 17. They created the new apps menu at the bottom of settings in iOS 18. If I recall correctly, the whole finding settings under apps has been a thing for a really long time. I forget. There was something years ago that I was trying to figure out how the heck to do. And it turns out that it was like, was I trying to change something on the camera or something? I forget what it was, but I had to dig into apps in order to change something that seemed like it would be sort of fundamental to the system.
I know. Sorry. So
the goofy hiding settings under apps thing, even though they are system wide and not necessarily specific to that particular app, that's not new. But I don't know. To your point, I haven't used iOS 17, so I don't know what they have or haven't moved between them.
I think you just think that they should be, which is fine.
Well, if they affect more than one app.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're system-wide.
It means they aren't that app.
That setting is... Are you saying one setting is changing things system-wide?
No, I'm saying when you log into a Google account.
Yeah, but I don't think you're logging into a system-wide account on iPhone.
Sorry, we're using the term system-wide very differently. What I'm saying is that you are logged into an account that is inherently logged in the second you open up another supported app that uses that same login. If I log into my mail account, immediately my calendars will sync, so my contacts will sync.
It's authenticated and all that. Okay.
So that's what doesn't make sense to me. Why I have to open Apple's mail account to do that, or to your guys' point, I have to go dig into apps, find something that happens to be Google. Will Chrome work? No, Chrome doesn't work. I can't log into my Google account in Chrome. Brilliant. So I'll have to find a different one. Docs doesn't work. Docs doesn't have the login. Drive? Maybe Drive?
The login for what though?
For my Google account. I am not logged into it.
But
but if I go to mail, hold on. Mail. Now I can log in my Google account and it will work with those other things.
Can you view Outlook through the Gmail app?
I don't use Outlook, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe you can. I don't know if you can add third-party apps to the Gmail account. So I think the fact that theirs is clunky. What apparently you can. Really? You can add Outlook to the Gmail account?
Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have it set up that way.
Yeah. No, the Gmail app is just a mail client.
Multifunction mail?
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Because what I'm looking at right now is and I don't want to show you guys, sorry. If I go add an account.
Yes.
This will eventually load and it's only Google accounts.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. If I go manage accounts on this device, it brings me to password, passkeys, and autofill, and it doesn't bring up things that could sync. That's
and
not
if I
very
use that
intuitive
phone,
either.
then I would say that that's trash, and that's not intuitive.
Yeah, okay.
So my point is not that Android is better.
Yeah.
My point is that that is terrible and is not intuitive. If I wanted to log in an account, if I had never touched an Android phone or an iPhone before, and I wanted to get my like Google Calendar, and that was like the first thing that I wanted to do.
Where do I go from here?
How would I do it from here? There is literally no way to be prompted to sign in to some other type of account. Literally no way.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm immediately lost because I feel so lost the second I touch an iPhone. That's not an iPhone problem. That's a me problem. But yeah, I would personally like there to be a setting in the app somewhere. I generally like it when I can fully operate things from within the app. I don't like it when I have to go to external settings on anything, whether that's a desktop device, any form of phone, whatever. It doesn't matter.
So you just fundamentally don't understand how this is working. It's not a system-wide account. What you're saying is false, I believe. If I want my calendar to sync, I have to sign in to the Mail app.
Really?
Yes. Now, I was shown that other way. I can also go into settings, right? So I can also go into settings, apps, calendar, and I can add a calendar account here.
So it's not going through the Mail app, but it's still a lot of clicks, clunky. That's what you're saying.
And it was a very different interface compared to when I went to the Mail app, and I was immediately prompted to sign into my Gmail.
So if you open Mail first, the way that you're being trained to interact with the phone is not the same as when you open the calendar app.
Correct.
Yeah. Settings, apps, calendar, accounts makes sense to me, though. It does make sense to me, too, but his point is that when you open the Mail app, another first-party app that is highly related to calendar, I would say, it doesn't work the same way. Yeah, so he just in case you didn't see that, he clicked on the Mail app. He's not currently signed into anything, so it immediately prompts him to log into stuff. When he clicks on the calendar app, there is no prompt.
Now, I have an iCloud account because you have to sign into an iCloud account in order to like sign into the phone, in order to set up the phone. As far as I know, can you set it up without an Apple account? Maybe you can. I've never tried.
I don't know.
So that's the calendars that it's pulling. It's pulling like ancient Apple calendars.
Open calendar. I saw this button earlier, but I didn't really think about it. Open calendar. Click on.
I'll find it. Go away.
Click on calendars at the bottom.
Calendars at the bottom. Here we go.
And then I think I saw that it was like add calendar. Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
Add holiday calendar, add subscription calendar, add family calendar. What's just add calendar? What's add calendar again? So is it fixed on iCloud? Can you click the thing that says iCloud? Yeah, I don't know, guys.
I don't know what to tell you.
A calendar can be local to your device only. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier.
Yeah.
Mail is not just local. Yeah. I don't know. I get why. I understand what Linus is saying. I also get why it might not work that way. I would like that add a calendar thing that we just did. It literally shows an account line that's like, it says account and then there's a grayed out text on the side that says iCloud. And it was like, if that just was able to be whatever you wanted, then...
Or it opened a prompt to log into another account.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah.
That's what I would try to do. If I wanted to log into my calendar app, I would go to my calendar app, and this is exactly what I tried to do. I went into my calendar app. Stop it. I went into my calendar app. I went to calendars. I went to add calendar.
Pretty intuitive.
I went to add calendar.
Pretty intuitive.
And I was like...
And now there's what? Which it feels broken almost. There's a line that says account, and then on the right it's grayed out and says iCalendar, and he can't interact with it at all. What's up with that? That seems weird. Is something wrong?
No.
Set up Google in settings, mail, then turn on everything. Then in calendar, tap on the word calendar at the bottom and add it there.
Which is exactly what I've been trying to say.
So that makes it a global account if you do it that way?
Well, not global account, but it makes it so that you
can access
your
it.
Google crap will sync.
Yeah, see, that's wacky.
I'm sorry, but you're right. I missed something. It actually doesn't change my point at all. That these two systems behave
be such a bloodbath of a video.
very differently from each other.
You should do oh man, it might be brutal. It might suck.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of fun if you did a stream whatever the duration of the video is after the video launches.
Yeah.
You start a live stream and then just basically do this.
That'd be kind of fun, actually.
It's
Real time, actually comments.
You're pissed about Apple? Fight me live, bruh. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting.
Thank you, Mikhayo. Everyone saying he's wrong is nitpicking the minutia and missing the entire actual point, missing the forest for the trees, as it were. You guys, what do you want me to say? You guys are right that I didn't think to go digging into a submenu of a submenu of a submenu instead of just opening the app and signing in the way that I did in the other one.
I would hope.
That's the problem.
Skill issue.
To sign into Mail, I just open the Mail app and I sign into Mail, which will also allow me to sync my contacts and my calendars and my Google stuff that I need for work. If I want to sign into Calendar, I open Calendar and it's a complete dead end.
Handyman saying because on iPhone all settings are expected to be under settings apps. That's just Apple's approach. I may not like it, but it's their way of doing it.
Yeah,
and
there's lots of settings that are not under apps.
What happens when they're not?
Matter? Tim said, does it matter that Apple's guide on this explains it well and I found it quick? I think good documentation matters. And then he linked it.
I don't think you should need a guide for logging into your
I think needing a guide
account
inherently means it's not intuitive if we're using the word intuitive for what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah. So
not to be overly defensive of Linus here, but the intuitive, using or based on what one feels to be true even without conscious reasoning. So needing to look up a guide just automatically, yeah.
Man, anything to do with iOS, man, is it's I don't know, it's
spicy.
It's a really funny thing because I say, look, I think hot dogs are unintuitive, and people go, hamburgers are so much less unintuitive. Linus loves hamburgers.
The ingredients slide around.
I think they're both unintuitive. I think there's problems with both. And I think to make this argument that this is good design is just I don't really know what to tell you. If I can, and you say, look, it's the Apple way that the settings for it are in the apps part of the settings menu. Okay. So is the account that you're logged into a setting? Yes or no?
I think I would generally think so.
Sure. So then for the Mail app, it should be in the settings of the Mail app. It should not prompt me when I open it then.
It might even be useful, in my opinion, to make it so that I think some apps do work that way. Maybe not in the Apple ecosystem, but if it was like, we see you're not signed in, press this button to go to the settings, and it opens the settings app and makes a little bit of a display of
Sure, but it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Avon Fox says it's not that. It's that you say it's trash because it's not for how your brain works is insulting to people for whom it is. When UI or UX is inconsistent, that's bad. That's measurably bad. That's not the goal. And because we're used to something does not mean that it's good. When I say something's bad, it's not personal. The fact that you're used to it or you like it, it's not personal. It's literally my job to point out things that are unintuitive or that aren't good about technology.
Something that I will never understand, though,
Yeah.
is and this is again coming from Android brain because it's the only thing I've used. My mom always struggled with Android. She would find ways to email me text messages.
Wow,
like
that's kind of impressive.
There's weird, like, no, but she could not send me a normal text message. I would just receive emails that were text messages, and like I've never actually even done that.
Yeah,
like it's weird. It's not a normal email. It's not, she sent an email with text in it. No, it's a text message in an email.
Right, like as an attachment.
Yeah, it's
or something.
Like, it was very odd. It was years ago, but it was very weird. And she had lots of other crazy, weird problems with her Android phone. And then she was working in the movie industry for a while.
Yeah.
And they had like standardized on some iOS stuff. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So she needed an iPhone. She got an iPhone instantly. Perfect. Instant power user, no issues.
I remember you telling me about this because to her, the whole like throwing away an app was just like super intuitive.
Instant.
Yeah.
No thoughts. Immediately works. Like the most intuitive thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And then I try to go do something on her phone and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's happening.
I set up my aunt with an iPhone years ago because basically I didn't want to coach her on how to use her phone.
Yeah.
And it's been very painless.
It works. So like they got something going on.
So people are pointing out things that are just like I don't really I don't really know what to say to you. So Zenthoxin says mail prompts you because it has nothing to load if you aren't signed in. But okay, please. My problem was never that mail prompted me to sign in.
He liked that part, if anything.
That's good.
Yeah.
My problem was that when I did the same behavior, the same user behavior, and I opened my calendar, it did not prompt me to log in and had absolutely no way for me to log in and no breadcrumb trail for me to follow to log in. Nothing. If we agree that the account you're logged into is a setting, and if we agree that Apple puts settings under settings, apps, and the name of the app, then we agree that the mail account that we log in should be there, and only there, with no way to link to it from the app itself. But that is not the case. Therefore, the mail app follows a different set of rules from the calendar app.
Guys,
are we there yet? Did we get there?
Nidx or NIDX, I don't know, said, I think it's hubris to not ever look for help in the modern era and has good docs. And he's talking about the fact that there's a good doc on how to do this. One of the problems that some of you guys are really struggling with is the word intuitive. If he has to look up a help doc for something, it is not intuitive to him. Flat out. There's no other interpretation of that. If he has to look up a help doc for something, it is not intuitive for him.
Also, I did figure it out. I figured out to log into the mail app. That's not the problem. Oh boy. Cape says, when will you have a video criticizing Android?
He's had many. Tons.
It's amazing.
For many years.
It's amazing. The selective perception that people have.
But you're insulting my tribe, Linus.
This entire video was dunking on the deplorable state of AOSP.
Yeah, that might not have been the best video example to bring up.
It was 2 months ago. I understand that not everyone agrees with the premise of the video.
Yeah.
But the premise of the video was what the premise of the video was.
You guys aren't wrong. That is stock Android.
It is stock Android, whether you like it or not.
I just don't know how applicable it is because it doesn't apply to anybody.
But that was our point.
Yeah.
Our point was that stock Android's kind of dead. And we discussed some of the reasons that it's kind of dead.
For users, yeah.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to remember because I'm pretty sure we did... I'm pretty sure we've done rant style videos on both iOS and Android? Or have we only done, you know what? No, we haven't. We did.
I really wonder if you should somehow, I don't know how you would do this. Is the video already shot?
Partially.
I wonder if you should somehow get like a subset of, you know, those videos that are trending right now
10 ways iPhones are just better.
They put 6 years ago. There you go. They have like somebody in a chair with a table and another chair across from it in the middle of a room, and then a circle of people around it. And
10 ways
like
Android is just better.
all those people in the circle versus the one person. in the middle.
Yeah. That's already on the calendar.
Oh, okay. I don't. So
100%.
I feel like you should like basically get a subset of like Apple fans. I can think of one, T3 Theo.
Oh, we could definitely find some.
And then give them your talking points for the video, and then fight their talking points like in the video. Because I don't know. Honestly, that probably won't even help anything.
No, it won't help. It won't help anything, Luke. I mean, the fact that people don't think I criticize Android is all that you really need to know about the sort of selection bias of the perception of my takes on these things. Mm-hmm. I have been hypercritical of Windows, Android, iOS, macOS. Basically, like I said, my entire job is looking at things and going, this is what could be better about them. I also highlight things I really like.
I'm just trying to take, because I know this, obviously this video is going to be a bloodbath. So I'm just trying to figure out like, how do we pull all the iron out of it and make a sword? How do we do something cool with that, basically? So like there's the stream that starts the total duration of the video after the video goes live. There's this like, I don't know, picking like 5 Apple creators and then having them fight you on it or something. Change my mind style. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, because especially like it could even be genuinely helpful, because as long as people come in with like an understanding that you might end up agreeing to disagree, then it's probably just going to be like a good conversation. I don't know. Separate what is personal opinion and fact. The whole conversation we're having right now is that seems to be a very difficult thing. Like I'm not going against Avon Fox here, to be clear, but that seems to be a very difficult thing with a lot of topics, and this is one of them sure.
This is definitely one of them, which is just baffling to me because
so weird.
At the end of the day, if you ripped my Android phone out of my hands, I'd use an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like there'd be things that bother me about it, just like there are things that bother me about my Android phone. Tacky the Penguin says, you're really straining for a gnat, which is not an expression I've heard before, but I think I kind of like it. You're straining for a gnat if your biggest issue with iOS is how you sign into calendars. It isn't. It's just not intuitive.
Who said it was?
And what I said was, anyone who tells me that is intuitive, I'm sorry, but I have to take exception. And then I laid out...
Why would you take the biggest exception with this issue?
I laid out...
The only exception you have.
In very clear, in very clear mathematical terms, why it's not intuitive. And how the one app behaves differently from the other app. And if we accept this rule that the account we're signed into is a setting, and settings can only be here and are not linked to from the app, then the fact that one behaves one way and one behaves the other way is not compatible with each other. And that is not intuitive.
And pretty easy to solve as well, actually.
Extremely easy to solve.
Yeah.
It is so easy to solve, and it is so intuitive to solve. In fact, some people who opposed my criticism of Apple in the chat today were saying it's so simple, you just click add calendar. But it wasn't there.
Yeah. Why wasn't it there?
I don't know.
It seems like something's wrong, because like why would that line even be there if you can't do anything with it? And that's where like my brain feels like it's broken, and maybe this is Android brain, I don't know, because I expected I would be able to click on that and it would list the various system-wide accounts that I have, and there would be an add account option. And maybe it brings me out to some other menu and I have to add a system-wide account, and there's 10 trillion authentication steps, and it puts its fingers into everything in my phone and whatever else. But like that's the flow that I would expect. I would not expect a a line that is completely not interactable on a page of inputs. That's not something I would expect, like, ever, to be honest. Apple was forced to make setting up Mail as easy as Apple Mail. Great.
Okay. So you're saying then that the fact that they work differently is because Apple put user hostile design
That's not the argument you wanted to
in
make,
their
bro.
calendar app and left it there because they were never forced to change it.
Yikes.
Why are they like this?
And now they want to change the subject.
Well, you got to go to settings and then
There's the change subject app settings, which are only in settings.
yeah, but it's in the settings of the subject app, not in the global settings. And it's under a hamburger menu. I got another merch message for you here. We're going to be here all night, and Luke's
Nice.
birds are going to get sad. Linus, do you want to move on? We can keep talking about this if you want.
Yeah, no.
All right, cool.
Move on.
Linus, I need to paint my house. It's only 1,150 square feet. People tell me rolling looks worse than spraying. Is it worth buying a sprayer just for a one-time use, or
Absolutely
would rolling
not.
be okay?
Get good at rolling. It's not that hard. Basically, what it just comes down to is make sure you apply enough material and then kind of spread it out and level it out without pressing too hard. And then make sure that you've got a light on nearby. Because while it's wet, it kind of has a sheen, and it's really easy to see any spots where you've got too much paint built up and it'll drip. So make sure that you go right away and kind of level those out without a ton of paint on the roller before moving on to the next area. Cut in the edges first, even though it's like tedious and it feels like you're not making any progress, even though you're doing the vast majority of the work, you're covering the minority of the wall, and then do your rolling after.
Makes the remaining a lot easier.
Yeah, use a drop sheet. No matter how careful you think you can be, use a drop sheet, because as you roll the roller, it turns, obviously, and when you've got paint on it, it'll flick out little bits of paint. So as long as you have a drop sheet down there, it'll grab everything.
Why would you say using a spray is unintuitive?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you, paint sprayer operation is often not very intuitive. Sure.
I'm just messing.
No, I'm good. I will die on that hill. The Apple one, honestly, doesn't matter to me that much, but I will die on the paint sprayer hill.
Delmain was like, I just tagged me and said, I hate you. Fair enough. Oh, man.
Okay. This is a hard end of the show. Been seeing the hoodie all week on Tech and Game Linked and couldn't wait for it to drop. The wife and I are suckers for cozy clothing. Linus, what's the next step in foldables that makes it mainstream?
I don't know.
Nothing.
For Apple to make one.
And I don't think they will.
It's been rumored for a long time. They're clearly looking at the technology. They'd be crazy not to be looking at it, at the very least. But they obviously have a lot of work to do on making their sign-in process consistent from app to app. So
They still haven't figured out how to make the camera
They
bump
do only
smaller.
have one developer, so
we got to give them time. Let them cook.
yeah. Currently, they're working on the calendar login. We'll have to come back to foldable compatibility.
Yeah,
in the
they
future.
got T9 dialing nailed though.
nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, they did it.
Deserves a promotion. Then they'll have zero devs.
I actually love it. I love T9 dialing. It's so great. The way that Apple handles all your different phone call accounts, so to speak, your different voice communication methods is amazing. Here, call me on the phone.
Sorry, I'm just very tempted to. Dofo said a good one, which was, why are you saying that flat screens are so unintuitive? Okay, I'm calling.
Okay. Okay, so check this out. There's no. Okay, so it comes up like this, right? And then if I want to answer, then I just hit my button or whatever. Okay, call me on Teams now.
be here for a half hour.
No, it's cool.
I hate Teams so much.
You really do. Okay, so this is cool. Watch this. How cool is that? The interface is
That's really nice.
identical.
That's genuinely very nice.
And the best part is if I go into my call log,
Just both? That's really nice.
yeah, that's intuitive.
That's very intuitive.
Very intuitive. Objectively
That's
intuitive.
genuinely very cool. I am envious of that feature.
It's especially nice like for CarPlay because I don't have to think about what slightly different interface might come up. Like when I get a WhatsApp call in the car on Android, it sucks.
Yeah, they have
It like
different,
brings up a little thing.
swipey things and whatever. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yep. So it's very, very intuitive. Okay, so Apple people, are you okay now? Are you good?
That is genuinely, like, as someone who doesn't use iPhones, that is sick, and I wish I had that.
Are you good? Are you okay? Are we over the calendar thing
Probably not.
and how the settings are not in the same place and that's objectively actually kind of stupid? But this isn't. This is not stupid. This is really good. Something,
Well, they are in this. They are.
something that's not. No, they're not in the same place.
Sort
they
of.
are, but they're also sometimes in a different place,
Yeah.
but not.
They are one time in a different place.
Yeah.
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 Which is
Except when
confusing.
they aren't in that different place,
Yeah.
which is not intuitive.
Yeah.
But this, you know what makes something intuitive? When someone who's never seen it before is like, whoa, that's really intuitive.
Yeah.
That was pretty intuitive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And oh man, not having to like
Bananas.
sometimes swipe left and sometimes swipe out of a circle and sometimes press a circle. On Android, the call receiving like button, it's just different depending on how someone's calling you. It's incredibly stupid. We concede the calendar for the acknowledgement of call history.
The Apple Nation has accepted the diplomatic. Oh man.
So yeah, there's lots of things that I actually love about it that are objectively better, dude. The dedicated voice input button at the bottom of the screen, that's just always right there whenever you have your keyboard up, and you don't have to long press, and it does punctuation automatically, which is super cool. There's tons of stuff that's really good.
I've
got one, my SwiftKey one. So I use a third-party keyboard, right?
I've been using the same third-party keyboard for so long, I don't remember what the normal one is.
So I use a third-party keyboard, and mine puts it way across the screen. But with Apple, regardless of whether you're using a first-party keyboard or a third-party keyboard, there's a voice input button that is independent of that and that sits under it, which is really intuitive.
Sure.
There you go. We good? You got a bonus
You got
one.
two things now, yeah.
You got a bonus one.
You owe the Android Nation something.
Is there a next topic? No, there's no other topic. This is it. Leave. Okay,
I'm sorry that it's not
Dan?
intuitive that there isn't. another
Carson
topic.
asks, in your experience, does iCloud... No, I'm just kidding.
They want balance. Floatplane chat wants balance. They want a negative thing.
I'm going home.
Oh, man.
I want to try one, honestly. I've never done it.
An iPhone?
Yeah, I tried an iPad and then immediately threw it out.
I was going to say, I feel like you'd go insane.
I would
What's
probably.
wrong with the iPad?
No, we're not talking about this.
I love the iPad.
Shut up, Linus.
Dude, have you ever used an Android
I was
tablet?
going to say, it is the superior tablet.
Only with
Yeah.
extreme custom firmware.
Dude, it's not even close.
No, Linus, as someone who practices 3-2-1 backups, are
Yeah.
M discs or Blu-rays viable? I bought some recently to backup, archive some important stuff, but now I'm wondering if my efforts are better spent elsewhere.
Very viable. No, M-Disk is totally a different class of storage device than tape. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, but is he
disc.
like actively using them?
Well, you don't. They're just like an archival grade DVD, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have like legal documents or something like that, I would say out of tape, M-Disk, Blu-ray, throw them on M-Disks. That's the way to go for something that you really want to not rot. I would trust that more than a hard drive in storage. That's actually been a big problem for data recovery companies, is some of those drives are getting so old that even if they're brand new and sitting in storage, they're just like, they don't last forever. Whereas M disks, I think, are rated for like 1,000 years or something like that.
Oh, really?
I don't know that they'd actually last that long, but they're rated for an extremely long time.
What is tape rated for?
Well, it's more that it's more physically fragile. A disk has no moving parts. So I would be personally a little more comfortable with M-Disk. It's also like you can just get like a fireproof file cabinet and just, you could store a functionally unlimited number of M-Disks in that compared to like tapes.
Yeah.
And the tapes would store more, especially like more modern tape formats.
But if you're doing legal documents,
yeah, then it's purely archival.
Tiny files.
Yeah, and they're small files anyway. And if you're going back to and having like smaller amounts and just like a ton of them and putting labels on them versus like how much stuff do you have to back up to this one tape before you finally put it in the archive? I'd almost be afraid to like have enough data pending that I'm going to fill up a tape before I can put it away. Do you kind of get what I mean?
Don't you need special software for tape as well that remembers where all the data is on the tape itself?
You need, and you need an expensive reader and writer, whereas M-Disk can be written on not quite commodity, but slightly more expensive burners.
I didn't realize actually, I didn't realize quite how not as long tape lasted as I thought.
Yeah, no, M-Disk's
tape
sick.
had a longer.
I don't use it though. Cool.
I don't know. Just put it in an S3 bucket and let it be Amazon's problem to delete all your data.
Is it not intuitive?
It's not very intuitive.
I just put everything on iCloud.
I mean, if it lasts a long time, they should call it L-Disk.
Yeah. But then they might think it's like Linus disk.
Yeah.
Might not be very intuitive.
No.
Dang.
I'm a small vintage tech YouTuber with 1,000 subs, and you guys are a big influence to
They
me.
could call it long disk.
Yeah. I mean, that might be a little unintuitive though, because if the association is also Linus, then people could get a false impression.
I mean, you don't know. Well, I guess.
Well, I kind of know.
All right then.
Avon Fox. What about
Average
second disc?
A disc.
A disc.
It's okay, disc.
Moderately acceptable disc. I'm a small.
Oh man.
Okay. All right.
Hi.
Yes, Dan. Sorry.
Hi, I'm a small vintage YouTuber with about 1,000 subs, and you guys are a big influence to me. Would you ever take a small creator and have your team punch up a vid to see how much pro editing can drive views?
Interesting. It's more than just editing. I mean, it's writing, hosting, editing, topic selection, thumbnail.
Ludwig did a really interesting
a lot of pieces.
experiment a while ago, actually, where he tried to see how successful he could be as a new YouTuber using none of his contacts, not using his own likeness, his own face, or anything like that. Basically trying to pick a topic using, I think it was like someone else's voice, and doing a like image/video with a voice, with voiceover thing. I don't know how I would find this. Ludwig, did someone already find the link? Holy crikey, dude. Yeah, that was fast. Thanks, Nerdy. Or Nerdle. Okay. Ludwig, I made a secret YouTube channel to prove it's not luck. This was wildly successful. This video is genuinely super interesting. He talks about topic selection. He talked about how he was able to promote it. So like he wrote this video. The title is really good. How a door made this man $1 million. Like,
I would click on that. Like, I want to click
title.
it now.
Yeah.
It's about something that he knows. So it's about another streamer named MsPaint. I don't think he actually used like technically insider knowledge that someone else couldn't know. I don't remember. I watched this a long time ago.
So he kind of artificially, through his own prior knowledge, created a very meticulously researched video that someone else could have made.
Yeah, I think that was it. I'm pretty sure. And then he shows about like promoting it and stuff too. So creating the channel, he goes through all those details.
Yeah.
Making a thumbnail, blah 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 blah. And then at some point in time, I don't remember where it is. Yeah, he like promotes it because he chose making a video about a streamer who does reaction videos, so that he could link it in their stream and they would likely watch it. Because if someone linked us a video, like, hey, someone made a video, I don't know. It's likely.
I don't think it's likely we'd watch it on stream.
Not for us, but a lot of other people.
We're not that edgy.
And especially not right now. But a lot of streamers would. So he links it to them, and then they actually do watch it on stream at some point. That gets it a bunch of traction. People liked the video. He tells them to go subscribe, whatever, and it starts the channel off. And it's like, it's really interesting because he genuinely goes through all the steps. This is like MsKiff watching the video, I guess. Yeah, that's him watching it. I don't remember if they actually show the like metrics of the channel.
What's the fair use situation of Ludwig using MsKiff's reaction video of Ludwig's video that he made? Is it intuitive?
I don't remember like how well it did, but I mean, first time video, and we're talking about views from different areas in the thousands. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So I don't know. You can do it. I don't necessarily think it's like just particularly having good editing or just having particularly good something else. You need to bring everything together for it to be intuitive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be an interesting experiment, but we'd have to be all in. Like we'd basically have to like bring a production crew to you. You'd have to kind of tell us, okay, here's 5 concepts that I have. We'd kind of have to massage them and go, okay, this is your best one. This is probably your strongest angle for it. 1.5 million views. Okay. Yeah,
I mean, it's riding on the back of this video, which has 6.5 million views. That's
hard to evaluate now.
Yeah.
So we'd have to come all the way out there. We'd probably have to kind of use our process, right? You'd tell us kind of everything you know, and then I would lay out all the intro, the story beats, the conclusion. We'd figure out how to package it.
Can we make a YouTuber?
You would sit there and you would read the script, but I don't know if you're on Floatplane, you might have seen this before. But there's a behind the scenes of me working with Ryan Shrout and Tom Peterson, who both at the time were at Intel. I think Shrout's moved on. I think Tap's still there. But basically, there's a behind the scenes of me coaching them on their part in our video on Intel Arc, where effectively I just say, okay, repeat exactly after me. And what's really special about this product is... So essentially, like showing them the exact intonation that they need in order to make the delivery a little bit more dynamic and engaging. So I would probably have to do that, unless you're amazing at it already, which you might be. I'm not. You didn't even say exactly what your channel was, so I'm not sure what it is. And then from there, we would have to kind of show you, okay, well, what does it look like to put together all the guidance for the visuals that are going to support this? Then we'd edit it. And at that point, I don't know. It's tough. Like, we haven't really answered your question, like how much pro editing drives it, because there's so much more to the editing process than just the edit. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Linus, what advice would you give a young Canadian business owner? I'm from Ontario.
Run.
To LTTStore and get these good deals.
Man.
Run.
It's been a long week.
Be prepared. The whole world,
Thanks, Scar.
let alone Canada, is in has been in not great economics space for a while now. This isn't a new thing.
Everyone talks about the impact on consumers of inflation because most people are consumers rather than business owners, but businesses are absolutely impacted by it as well.
Yeah.
And on both ends, right? Because on the one side, you've got your suppliers or your partners demanding more because of inflation, and then on the other side, you've got your labor force demanding more because of the impact of inflation on them. So in a way, you're kind of caught in a squeeze.
If you increase the price of your product, some people might not be able to afford it anymore, despite everything else, because they might not be getting raises from their companies to keep up, even if you're giving your people raises, so you might have less revenue. And
Hazaifa asks, Linus and Luke, Trudeau or Pierre? Yes.
No.
We have a de facto two-party system, Luke.
No.
I know, but yes.
Wasn't it so cool when he was like,
I'm going to get rid of first past the post.
He was like, it's done, dude.
We're
getting rid of it, bro. It's obviously really stupid, and you all voted me in for this reason, so I'm definitely going to do it.
I am...
and then I didn't.
I know that there's been plenty of other things.
Hell yeah.
That Captain JT has screwed up.
Demote him.
But the one that I am actually by far the most angry about is first past the post. Yeah.
It enrages me as well.
Like, election reform is something that I would think that Canadians and Americans, the need for election reform, I would think is something that Canadians and Americans should probably all be pretty aligned on at the citizen level. And the fact that he promised he was going to get that done and then was like, psych. Not cool, JT.
Not cool, bruh. Not cool, bruh. There's there was our own province for the Americans. That's the same thing as a state.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's like a state, except it's like it's actually part of Canada instead of like wanting to be its own thing completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But except for Alberta and Quebec. They also want to be their own thing completely.
Except for a lot of them. Anyways.
I'm not sure how stoked the prairies are on the whole like Commonwealth either, but whatever.
Yeah. BC kind of hides on the other side of the Rockies and pretends we're part of Washington.
Yeah. We us Washington State and Oregon State, as far as I can tell, like if the whole rest of the world went to crap, I think we could probably get Yukon in there. Like I think if the whole rest of the world went to crap, we could all probably kind of come together and be like Pacific Northwest land, Rainland.
Yeah. Yeah. We like it wet. I was going to say, yeah, we had a provincial election here recently, and I was looking into it because I was like, I want to be an informed voter, and I found the platforms page for the three parties.
He sends this to me in the middle of the night. He's like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, "What are you talking about?" It really felt like genuinely someone in grade 4 was like, this would be, I don't know. They asked ChatGPT, how should I make a bad political campaign? And they were like, I don't know, do this. And then they actually published it. It's stunning that people put this on paper.
Dude.
And I mean that for both of the main two parties.
Dude, think about it. When you were in grade 11, grade 12, okay? And you put together a project on something and you did some research or whatever, and you did a presentation at the front of the class.
It seems like it went further than those.
That, as far as I can tell, a lot of people never really progress past that in terms of their research and presentation and data compilation skills. And you would think, well, I mean, these are people in a position of, where it's really important for them to be able to do this.
That's been a wild realization. As
an adult?
And it still gets me. It still gets me often. where I'm like, oh, like this person's coming from I don't know, this company or this area of expertise or whatever,
educational background,
and you start conversing with them, and you're like, oh, okay, like this is going to be great. I'm gonna learn so much. It's going to be so useful or interesting or whatever the scenario that you're in is, and then you start actually working with them, and you're like, oh, okay, you're just like a dude.
Well, everyone's just a dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, right?
All right.
Like, I don't know, it's funny, we leave, school, where we look around at all our peers and we're like, everyone's just a dude.
We're like,
and then we go into the real world and we're like, oh, you're a librarian, and you're a dentist, and you're a bus driver, and you're a this and you're a that. And it's like, no, you're all just dudes.
I think the
and
hope,
you're doing those things.
I think the hope is that when you're in high school, you're like progressing so much year to year that when you leave high school, I think there's probably still some amount of assumption that like you're really going to be progressing a lot. So like if someone worked in a field for 20 years, you're going to expect like this unobtainium feeling level of expertise.
I don't know.
And that does exist sometimes.
It does. Oh, it totally does.
For sure.
Luke, I don't know what was more enlightening for me. When I had children and realized that kids are just tiny adults.
Yep. Or yeah. Sorry, I keep.
Or when the inverse dawned on me.
Yeah. Just a bunch of really big kids walking around.
And to be clear, present party included. I am not some kind of paragon of maturity. Let's be real here.
Oh yeah, dude. I still feel like I have honestly a lot of the same wants and desires and
I said
hopes and
inverse,
dreams
not converse.
that I did when I was 15, 14. Honestly, like the approach might be different.
Dude, we crystallized like way younger than I think people are comfortable thinking about.
Yeah.
Like going to my 20-year high school reunion, I'm like, yeah.
Did you go?
Yeah, why not?
I haven't gone to any of them.
I don't know. Hot take. Don't be too cool to go to a reunion.
It's not even that.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Most of the people that I've talked to about it, it basically boiled down to like, I'm too cool to care about this.
No, I'm still in contact with honestly a lot of people from my high school.
Sure.
So like, I don't know, we'll like go have a campfire with like 20 of them. This is my reunion.
But that's not the reunion.
Yeah.
That's not the point of it.
I'm not saying I'm too cool for the other one. I just don't care. But it's not because I'm too cool. I objectively don't think I'm cool.
I'll let you guys unpack all of that.
I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah. Charged Nuclei says it's because everyone else is less cool. Deep Blue V says, sure, Luke, sure.
No, I
Avon
don't care.
Fox says, which makes you cool.
I think if you're not in contact with a bunch of people from your high school, it could be good to... Also, in the age of Facebook, I think that's another big change. Because there are people from my high school that I'm not actively in contact with that every once in a blue moon, I'm like, I wonder what they're up to. And then I go, click, oh, and then I'm done. I didn't need more than that.
I don't know, look. I only stayed for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it was one of my kids' birthday party that day.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I'd like to go. I'll go show my face, say hi, and see if there's anyone that I recognize. Some of them I didn't. I had a pretty big class, and I was a loser. So like I was actually not cool.
You had a pretty big class? You didn't go to I thought you went to like a farm school, basically.
Well, yeah, but
were you commuting a decent
I had to drive a fair bit to get there. It was like 20-minute drive.
How big was your class?
When I say pretty big class, I mean for me to remember all the names and faces. Like our school was about, I want to say about 1,500 or something like that. So my class was a few hundred people.
I think you're at a bigger school.
But part of the problem for me is that I was in the I was kind of in my like streamlined pod. So I was taking like challenge courses and AP courses. So I saw a lot of the same like 25 people, and I saw very little of the rest of the 90% of the class.
Oh, interesting.
I saw a lot of those folks, and like I took metal art and jewelry.
We had a really small
I took shop,
school.
believe it or not.
So we only had one AP course, if I remember correctly. It was AP English.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like there wasn't like, so you were often like, I was quite mixed amongst everybody.
We only, for AP, I think we only had English as well. So challenge was just our internal name for like a slightly more challenging version of what is essentially the same curriculum.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of
Whereas
that.
AP is its own like separate entity that like organizes things. Oh, Dan is saying we're over time. Oh, we're over time.
Yeah.
You okay, Luke?
I am still good, but
Okay.
not for like a long time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just needed to check in.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's good. We wrap up pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like against it. I just don't care. I've got Facebook.
Spoken like a
I
true
met-
cool
I met
guy.
some-
Sounds
Somebody-
like a very cool answer.
I met somebody. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
You know,
I met somebody.
You know,
from
it's like
my-
whatever, man. Like
Yeah, it's
we're all just kind of going through life. You
I'm
know?
just not
I
that
could-
into
I
it.
could go to the high school reunion.
I could
or
do it, but like I don't
could
know.
do-
Or I could do something way more important and sexy.
Could hang out with my beautiful partner and my birds and my
Yeah.
cool
Hey, my birds are pretty cool. Okay.
my cool friend.
I met somebody at the gym that I went to.
I could lift something heavy.
I went to elementary and middle school with, and that was cool. But they don't do like elementary and middle school reunions. Like those people, I actually don't have contact with anymore. Any of them.
So you would go.
'Cause that was pre-Facebook.
You would go to a grade 7 reunion.
Yeah, actually,
Interesting.
because I don't remember almost any of their names. I don't have any contact with them anymore because that was pre-Facebook and stuff.
You know what's funny is I actually had the exact same thought like 2 weekends ago. I was back in Ladner and I was at Sharky's Bar and Grill with my grandparents, the kids' great grandparents, and
The more I think of it, this is more true.
and the waitress bore a striking resemblance to someone that I went to school with. The age wasn't right, like they were younger.
Yeah.
But I was like, holy crap! I wonder if they're a relative of this girl I went to school with. I didn't want to ask because people don't interact in person anymore.
Yeah.
And it'd be like a weird thing to ask someone.
Speaking is weird.
Hey, do you have a
It's not very
relative?
intuitive.
Do you have a relative named whatever? Like you look like someone I know. It almost seems like a pickup line, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, you never know. People apparently just like don't approach each other in person anymore. So
So anything sounds like a pickup line?
I would think so.
Fair enough.
And I was just like, it was unnecessary. I don't actually care that much, so I wasn't gonna like say anything weird. Aragoth says, yeah, that's a fair concern in my opinion. Make as advised says, I accidentally picked up a girl that way. Okay, so there you go. I'm apparently not completely crazy. I do think it would have been fine. I was there with my wife and my kids and my grandparents. Like,
Yeah, that kind of diffuses a lot of that.
clearly I'm not making a move, but never underestimate how scummy a dude could be. So
And modern relationships sometimes. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly.
Not very intuitive.
Who knows who those kids are actually born from?
Yeah. Yep.
What about second wife? Says mine still. Anyway, the point is, it made me think about someone that I hadn't thought about in
Yeah.
a bazillion years. And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, how cool would that be? Because this came on the heels of my aunt telling me, because she ran into the mom of like my elementary school BFF, who was like, oh yeah, he's like moving to North Vancouver and like has a kid and stuff. And I was like,
It's crazy to think about.
what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
Like I left my elementary school, my first elementary school, after grade 2. So like being able to be like, hey,
Remember me? No. I'm pretty cool.
I don't even want to like tell this story.
I mean, I think you're committed now, so let's go, cool guy.
I think it was grade 1. I kissed some girl.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Like who the heck was that?
You kiss girls, you don't even remember them.
No.
And this guy says, no, I really don't think I'm that cool.
My
Damn.
God.
I don't know.
Talk to you guys.
Damn.
I've held so many hands, I don't even
fire.
know. I don't even know how many hands I've held.
If I remember correctly,
I've had so many cups of tea.
if I remember correctly, one of us was like hurt or something.
I pulled on so many pigtails.
My God. If I remember correctly, one of us was
so
like
many
hurt or
cooties.
something. I'm just gonna go for it anyways. And whichever one actually like initiated it did so because like their parents would do that when they were hurt to try to calm them down. So
Yeah.
it wasn't. We're in grade like 1. It wasn't what you thought.
Wow, he's been emotionally intelligent and caring since.
Wow.
My
Look at this guy.
God, you're cool.
God, you're so cool.
I can't handle you guys.
Damn.
Mine Paradox says, yeah, definitely friends from grade school I'd love to see again, but high school, no interest in talking at all to any of them. Now,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have a hypothesis here, and that is not that the people you went to grade school with are like better in some way, but rather that they were at a stage in their life where they hadn't turned into complete fucking assholes yet. And so
that makes the elementary school reunion interesting, though.
I see. Okay.
Because you didn't get to see that process. So it's like, what happened in the gap?
How did you get... Why? How do you look like this?
Basically, yeah. How'd you go from like that kid that was fun to play soccer with to like, I don't know. Who knows?
Ad
Something crazy.
Faxel Stidgev says, Luke's just a stand-up guy.
Stop.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. What's going on more? We got... Yeah.
I got some more merch
Yeah,
messages.
we got some
Is
cool...
there more?
We
Really?
got some cool people sending merch messages.
Yes. How many is there left?
You wish they were Luke.
Let's try to power through these a little bit.
Okay.
I wish there was merino underwear available. They're wonderful. Do you know why some websites don't let you open certain links in a new tab?
I hate that!
Oh my God, I know. As a habitual control clicker, it's infuriating when I can't.
I hate it so much!
Also, middle clicking does the same thing, and it's my favorite.
I hate it so much. Okay, so watch this. Okay, so if I'm in the dashboard and I want to switch accounts and I right click to, oh my God, I left clicked. Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is, if I want to switch accounts and I right click, I want to open in a new tab. Where is my open in a new tab? Why isn't it there? It's not intuitive!
I love this man.
Not me, just making sure you can do the... Yes, that works. Okay, cool. All right, good.
So vindicated. Is there any pricing available for the commuter backpack? I'm hoping $150 or less, so I can justify upgrading my so I can justify upgrading to my wife from the $50 backpack I'm still using from high school.
It's just that is what it says. That is what it says.
This is the least intuitive merch message I've ever read.
Upgrading to my wife.
Upgrading to my wife.
From the $50 backpack.
Where are you storing things in your wife?
That's that's quite the upgrade, though.
I can't do this.
Not a very intuitive
Upgrading from my wife? Upgrading my wife from the $50 backpack I'm still using from high school.
Okay. I hurt my hand.
I'm not surprised.
What about
You
second
not
wife?
are.
It's not too bad. We're not announcing the pricing yet.
We announced that a little early, I think. The backpack.
Commuter bag? Well, we got a wait list. We got an email newsletter.
Gotcha. Okay,
Gotcha. No. We got to drum up. We ordered a few.
Oh. Based on the newsletter or just preemptively?
Just based.
Just based.
Just based.
Not on anything, just based.
Like on a fucking turkey. Based.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get that meat.
Yeah.
Get that meat and gravy.
Okay. We need to get out of here.
This is what happens if we go past 8:30.
Next person. Keep going.
Hey, Dale was using my LTD stubby to fix my dishwasher before WAN Show.
Nice.
How well can I expect it to hold up to water?
I don't know. You tell me. It should be fine. The bits might rust a little bit because they're like iron and stuff.
Yeah.
Shaft's okay?
Yeah. Just based it. Based shaft.
All right, keep going.
Okay. All right. Sorry. The last one I got for you. Hey. with your focus on transparency, will there be any more how LTT makes money
good,
videos? I know they were used against you, but can you look past that? I really hope that people were not here during the start of the show.
Chad understood it apparently, but
yeah. I think someone internally pitched it a little while ago. It might have been Adam. I think it was Adam. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong about that. Someone pitched it internally a little while ago. I think we are due for one. I don't know, guys. Like it's one of those things where
someone in Floatplane chat said, "Wouldn't the old video still basically apply?"
No, I mean, and that's the thing, right? And that's why
it has changed.
That transparency is not just once, right? Like if you have a window into the front of your house, right, and you open it for a second and then you close it, that's not transparency. That's a glimpse, you know. Transparency is a process. It's a mindset. It's ongoing, and so I think in the interest of transparency. Yeah, I'd like to do another one, but after sort of experiencing the way that people take what I say in those kinds of behind the scenes looks and extrapolate or twist what I'm saying to turn it into something that I didn't say, I don't know. It definitely makes me
like that one time that you said that the iPhone was an unintuitive mess.
Yeah.
And had no redeeming qualities.
Yes. Like the time I said that. It's really challenging, right? Because I can't reasonably expect people, every individual person out there, to be familiar with everything I've ever said, right? And so you'll see like bad faith statements like Linus always criticizes the iPhone. He never criticizes Android.
So mean.
And I think this is one of those content pieces for us that have a super high potential for that, for people to see just this and not see the bigger picture, or to see it and not believe it. And I'm putting myself in a position where they just wouldn't have been thinking about it if I didn't bring it up. I think that's probably the biggest danger, is I talk about I talk about the sponsorships, or I talk about integrations, or I talk about merch, or I talk about Floatplane, or, all the other ways that that Linus Media Group makes money. And you've got, the people on the one side that are going, that couldn't be all of it. What are they hiding? Right. And then you've got the people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe that they make so much off of like sponsorships and merch that they can pay 100 people. I didn't think about that before. I thought that, Linus was just my friend or whatever. And it's like,
bro,
why is it a conversation that I'm even opening up at this point? Like during WAN, 2.5-3 hours into WAN Show or whatever we are right now. What are we? Yeah, we're 3.5 hours into WAN Show. It's like, yeah, fine. We can kind of talk about this stuff, because realistically, the only people who are going to make it past me insulting their precious iOS are going to be people who I think can at least...
Based Android users, let's go!
I think are people who can see the bigger picture of what we're trying to say, and see that, for all of our flaws, we're trying, and sort of take things that we say and take the things that we do with a set of positive assumptions rather than a set of negative assumptions. Whereas like a mainline channel video, it's not really like that. So we'll see. I think that right now, this is not a good time of year to go bug the accounting department to create a bunch of extra like presentation slides for us. They've got shit to do.
Got a lot of new goalposts, things to work on.
Yeah, but maybe next year. We'll see.
Okay.
Cano asks, timeline for backpack carabiners. You should have them already. If you don't, contact support. And I'll see you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye!
Dude, it was so hard not to talk about this. Oh, you can't lean over here. I know, it's fine. I know, right?